There we go.
And away we go.
All right. We are now live. Everybody, welcome to the ECBRO Discovery News Blogcast. I will mention we are a family safe and oriented research group and podcast show. For the record, for viewers, I know I'm asked this very frequently, so I'll just give you the answer so you'll know what I'm referring to. We are a no-kill zone. We do not believe in killing Bigfoot. We are definitely for the protection, and part of what we do, we research the truth so we can share it and educate others with it. Bigfoot is our friend. He's our ally. Like I said, we seek to only learn, educate, share, and like I said, protect. For those who do not know Sam Deloach, I want to welcome you on to the ECBRO Discovery News Blogcast. Now, you're from Tennessee, pretty much on the eastern Tennessee border, right?
That is correct. Yeah, I live in Kingsport,
Okay.
Tennessee.
Awesome. So basically, Virginia just a hop, skip, and a jump away from you.
Right. Yeah, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law live over in Fort Blackmore, Virginia. This side of High Knob is what we call it, and so they have also property over there where we do most of our research.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Now, well, since I pretty much kind of broke into the discussion about you, I'm going to go ahead and let you take it from here. We'll ask you a couple questions throughout your discussion, or what you want to go over. Like me included, Fred, and everyone else on the board here. On the panel, we will ask questions. That's what we do. It's actually part of our discussion. Then there will be other subjects I will be bringing up that we will go over and discuss and get everybody's opinion. Now, to start off, I want to ask you, how long have you been involved with Bigfoot research, Sam?
Well, we've been doing it for about 3 years, and we got started when my sister-in-law married my brother-in-law.
Okay.
Are you all hearing me okay?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Okay. All right. Hold on. We got a little disruption here. I don't know where it's coming from, but I'm gonna find out. And okay, it's not her. It's probably Carrie.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Even though Cheryl's muted, it's pretty terrible. I can still hear Cheryl. But I'm sorry. I was just trying to get the noise interference cleared up there, Sam.
No, you're good.
If you want to go ahead and continue on, yeah.
Okay. So
go ahead. Just take us into how you got involved and share with us anything how you want to go about that. Like I said, we will ask questions throughout your explanation, and we're gonna sit back and I'm gonna listen.
That sounds great.
All right.
Okay, so about 3 years ago, we started going to my brother-in-law's property. They have a cabin on the High Knob that borders the Jefferson National Forest. And we started just hooting and hollering, looking for signs of anything that looked out of place. Very, very new to this. And how it all happened, how we actually got recordings, was the night before that we got all the whoops and yells. Me and my son were video recording in a place called the Sensabaugh Tunnel in Kingsport, Tennessee. And supposedly it's haunted. And that night we unfortunately didn't get anything on camera. But how it all goes about us getting this all on camera was he actually had the camcorder in his truck. And so he brought it out that night. You're still getting that feedback, huh?
Line.
Okay. Okay, everybody hear me still?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So my son had the camcorder with him, and he decided we were gonna, try to go squatching. And so what we did, he actually had the video recorder on me, and I'd been working all day, and me and my wife were the last ones to get there. This is a family cabin, so there was 11 of us there, and we're sitting around the campfire, and I'm kind of sitting back in a chair, and he's got the video recorder on me, and my brother-in-law is he's a very avid hunter, expert hunter and outdoorsman, and he started doing barred owl calls, and
Cool.
about third or fourth barred owl call, this what we've dubbed it the Indian yell. It sounded just like a human yelling, and I mean it would go through you. Now that night, there's also a creek that runs by the cabin. It was pretty intense. It was flowing pretty good that night, so these yells were even over the loudness of the creek.
That
Now,
loud? That loud?
that loud, yes, sir.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it is. And so immediately, I'm like, what the hell is that? And that's exactly what I said. And
Wow.
and so immediately my first thoughts were, okay, somebody's up in the woods messing with us. And but my brother-in-law confirmed there's absolutely nobody else on the property except us, and he even offered to ride up through there, but I was too chicken, to be honest. Very, very dark up through there. So, my father-in-law said, do one of your calls, Sam, do one of your calls. And about that time, that Indian yell happens again, but this time it's probably 600 yards down the ridge in less than a minute. So
Wow.
we're sitting there, we're sitting there, and we're just kind of all being quiet, and you can hear my wife says, she says, it sounds like people are talking back there. So she heard that. I didn't hear that. But there's low whoops, high whoops that are in the video. Now here's the astonishing thing, guys. So the next day we went hiking to a place called the Devil's Bathtub, and when we came back, we just kind of played games and hung out. And so then the next day after that, this Indian yell, it lets loose in the daytime, and I mean it's about 7 to 11 seconds long. The hair stood up on my arms. I had goosebumps. There's 11 witnesses to this.
Did
Yeah, pretty
did you
cool.
did
Yeah,
you hear any wolves kind of like whoop whoop? Did you
yeah.
hear?
Yes, sir. There's about 6 or 8 high whoops that we heard. This all happened in a period of about 13 minutes,
Yeah, those are location whoops. They're letting each other know where they're at. Look, so
and they were intertwined in those barred owl calls, though, but they were different location in the barred owl. So I mean, it wasn't a barred owl like some people are trying to say that it is, but it's
all right.
not.
So basically, y'all have a family group or two family clans on that property. You're hearing them all around y'all like that. That's cool.
That is correct, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
cause
sir.
it's like that in my area and like that in Daniel's area. We have we have family groups, and you can tell when they're communicating. Uh, one night we was up there at Daniel's area and we heard a barred owl. Then all of a sudden we heard another barred owl, then another one. The first one we knew was a barred owl, but the other two behind it were squatches. Um, were
Yeah, a little bit
squatches.
high.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little bit higher up on the ridge.
yeah. And in my area, when I come out of the woods, I can tell when I'm being followed because I hear the ones around in my area used a dove sound. And there's a particular note that a dove makes that a squatch cannot hit. And when they hit it, you will know it. 'Cause you'll hear it to your left and you hear it to your right. Then you know they're following you, or what they're doing is letting each other know where they're at and letting them know where you're at. So that's the
That,
fun thing about squatching, man.
yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
logical. Like I say, we're new to this, and so that was the incident with the yells and the whoops.
Hey Sam,
Then yes,
could I
yes, sir.
disrupt real quick?
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir.
On the live chat, yeah, Renee O'Brien, she's asking, you want to repeat him? She was asking where did this happen because she forgot, she missed the first intro part of this.
That's fine.
Um,
The location that I give is
yeah.
it's the Devil's Fork. It's very close to the Devil's Fork. I
Okay.
don't want to give away the exact place, but it's very close to there.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
And we
for
totally,
where
I
mhm.
was gonna mention we totally respect holding back locations, names, and yeah, we
Yeah,
do the same thing. A lot of times we have researched area names and stuff, so
yeah,
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 that's fine.
yeah. Well, I know where he's talking about. I know the
Yeah.
area he's talking about. It's a very good area. Very
Very,
good
very good.
area. Very good. Beautiful
So
down there too, man.
yeah,
Um,
it is. And the thing
okay,
about
so
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, Daniel.
oh no, I was just gonna let you know you can continue on. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to get that little piece of information that Renee was asking. So, but I think you answered her question. So,
Well, of course, the next day we had gone out and went to the areas that we thought that the yells were coming from. But it's so much leaf litter, and it was during the summertime. Finding prints is very tough, or finding anything.
well,
It
Um,
absolutely.
is. It is.
so, so we about a month later, they had a fish fry up there, and my brother-in-law is a preacher, so sometimes they'll have get-togethers up there, and just to have good fellowship. So they had a fish fry going that weekend. Now that weekend, there was a lot of four-wheelers up there also. They like to just go four-wheeling a lot. We have some four-wheeling trailers over there. But normally it's just our four-wheelers that are up there. But now here's the thing. So that fish fry happened. Then the following weekend, we went back as a family again. And we get there Friday night, and the first thing that we find on one of our ATV trails heading up into the mountain is a tree about, I don't know, I'm saying it was about 8 inches around, that was broke over onto our ATV trail, and it was broke up about 7.5 feet up in the air.
Ooh.
Yep. So it was getting dark that night. So my brother-in-law said, "Well, let's just wait till the next morning. And we'll check it out." So we did. We inspected it, tried to find hair. Again, footprints were none because it was very leaf litter where the tree was. Um,
What about on the trail where the tree crossed at?
okay, right. Yeah, that trail it goes up an incline, so it's
Right.
it's real rocky, and when it rains, it really goes down through there. So it's not really kind of
Uh,
material that you would want to find tracks in.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's
It's
what I'm
like
getting.
my area. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
my
what?
area. So it's real rocky. Like we got a lot of limestone. Y'all got a lot
Right,
of limestone down there too. Yeah,
correct. But here's the thing about
yeah.
it, sir. In this one valley right here, or holler, as I call it, um,
Same here.
it's all there's a lot of coal, and it's very abundant through there. Now you go over the other ridge on to the left or the other ridge to the right, it's not as abundant. And
Right.
I think that might have something to do with why they're in there. Maybe the plant life grows better. Maybe we know there's a lot of deer in there because they hunt in there. The family does, but there's a lot of bobcat. There's a lot of food sources in there, and I think that might have something to do with it. But so that tree, get back to the tree. So the next morning we inspect it, and we decided we're just going to cut it down as it's in our way. We used it for firewood, honestly. Um, so we get Terry's in front of us, my brother-in-law, and his son, and then me and my father-in-law are behind them, and we're looking for prints on either side while they go ahead down the trail to see if they can find some. So on their way back, when they come back, there's a little island that you can go around, and there's a broken tree that was broken over. It wasn't big, about 2 inches in diameter, but then that's where we found the footprints, which is a three-track way of footprints. They're about 17 inches long,
Ooh, nice.
42-inch stride, and I ruined. Now here's the thing: I didn't know how to cast, so the first one I did, I ruined it. But the
Hey,
second
that's
one
Hey,
is perfect.
hey,
the best way to that's the best way to learn. Because my
yeah,
first three casts were totally flops. Once you
hey,
get to learn.
That makes me
But
feel better.
but But did you know? Did you notice when you see when that tree when you found that tree break? Did you notice anything around it like other trees broken going in the same general area,
Or
facing it?
direction?
'Cause-
Well,
yeah,
okay,
direction. Yeah.
I'll get to that in a minute, sir. Not on this particular one. It was almost like it was broken over in a way that we could not get our ATVs or side by sides through there. There's absolutely no
Oh
way you
wow.
could do it.
Oh wow,
Uh,
man.
yeah, I've got a
Yeah.
picture of it that I could share if we need to.
So yeah, they definitely were
Yeah,
blocking you guys from going through.
yeah. Now here's the thing that strikes me about all this, because I'm one that goes into it. I don't really have the technology to do it, but it's more of let them come to us and see what they're doing more than trying to go
Well,
after them.
that's what I do. Cause I go in my area and they follow me.
Yeah, it's weird. So here's the thing about the trees. So where those yells that we got, there's a lot of trees that are bent over, and the way that they're bent over, they're up and under like dead trees. It's
Y-
weird, and
Yeah.
there's 7 or 8 of those.
Okay. What that is all right. You got directional sandwich break, but they'll take a sapling tree and they'll bow it over and tuck it underneath a log.
It's exactly what this is.
Yeah, I got a ton of them in my area.
That's amazing. Now,
Yeah.
now after those that 3 track prints where they were in the kind of in the ATV trail, 2 of them were, and so the one that I actually have casted, you can see the ATV. Now, luckily, my father-in-law, as smart as he is, said, "You know what, Sam? Let's make this print bigger so we can show the ATV track as well to show how deep it is." Now, where we found the print was in like a crushed coal pit, is the best way that I can describe it, down to almost dust-sized coal up to
Right. Yeah.
little
Okay.
tiny coal.
Yeah.
Um, but now what I'm getting at is the little tree that my brother-in-law found broke over. In a video that I have, there's these little tiny flies that are all over that break, and you can, like when I got my nose up to it to try to smell it, the flies would not go anywhere. It was amazing. That's what amazed me about this whole thing.
What kind of saplings was it?
I don't. I'm thinking it was a beach, but I'm not sure.
All right. Flies are attracted to like beech and birch. It's the smell. They like the sap in it. So no
Oh,
matter how
okay.
you try to swat them away, they'll stay right there at it. But most of the squashes will take a sapling and they will bend it over and tuck it underneath something.
Mhm.
Now, if they break it, that means that they're trying to get it underneath the log. But when they break it and you get a bunch of flies, that's normal for those trees right there. So
Okay, that's good to know.
yeah,
So that's basically
So
what we've got so far on what's going on in our area. Like I say, we're all new to this, and here's the thing that my brother-in-law, there's a lot of his family that owns a lot of area over there, and so there's not many people that's ever really been in there. And I
right.
think that where nobody goes in there, I think that maybe they might feel like comfortable with that area, and maybe feel safe, is the best way I can describe it. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. If you take an now here's something I want you to try. Find an area, that's about like say like maybe a 16th or a quarter of a mile away from your camp.
Mhm.
You know, take and put like uh like a granola bar or something, a couple of granola bars, set them on a spot, and when you do that, it took me a month of leaving stuff. Then it'll start leaving you presents. Like what they did to me one day, they left me a little square out of wood and put an X in it, and below that they made like a little cup out of sticks and put a pine cone in it, and that was a gift for me leaving that. And when you go in, like I know where they're at and I see them. I act like they're not there. I'll say, "Hey, I see you. Have a nice day," and I'll walk on
Mhm.
because curiosity drives them. They've
Mhm.
got to see what you're doing. Now, If you got them big ones, that means you're going to have juveniles, and the juveniles are going to be the ones following you. The adults will sit back and watch. But once they get used to you, they'll follow you everywhere, you know. You know, go in there, you know, talk like you normally do, you know. Say, if you hear something, say, I hear you, and just go on about your business.
Hey,
They will, they will let you know that they're there.
Right, right.
Say what, Daniel?
oh, I was gonna ask Sam. The picture you sent me of one of your casts. Are you while you're on here? Are you able to send it to my my Facebook Messenger?
The cast print?
Yeah, I was gonna share it on here. Let everybody take a look at that.
Sure thing, Daniel.
Yeah, just send it to my messenger, and I'll do a screen share where I can show it to everybody. Let everybody take a look at that.
Okay. And I'll also send you the picture of the tree break, sir, that was before the prints. How about that?
Oh, that'd be great. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. We like every chance we get. We have something to share. I'll definitely, we like to share it, and we'll discuss it. So.
Yeah. But the main thing is, if they know that y'all are not a threat, they won't bother you. You'll have juveniles watching you. You know, you might have a little rock or a little twig thrown at you or something. You know, what they're doing is they're letting you know, like, hey, we're over here.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and if you acknowledge that they're there, but you go on about your business, like I said, that drives the curiosity, and they will follow you. I've got so many pictures of juveniles follow me. It's not funny, you know.
That's amazing.
But I don't. But I've seen. I had two boys from Maryland one night back about 2 years ago. They was gonna make a fool of me, saying there's no such thing as Bigfoot. Well, we're in my camp area, right? We had a tarp around. We had tarp 2x10 tarp around, about 5 of them around our camp. We had an area open where you know go out and go to the bathroom, and it was facing a field next to me, and I seen two of them coming down through the field and coming down toward us. I told them boys, I said, y'all gonna get a rude awakening here in a minute. Well, guess what? They said, you're full of, about right when they, you know, to say the word shit. We heard two, whoop, whoop. One went across the road and the other one come down behind the tent. Scared them boys to death.
Well,
Now,
I'd say.
yeah. Now, nighttime, you know, well, we've got two that hang with a pack of coyotes. And Daniel and his daughter seen them behind the camp one night. I've had a juvenile come up next to my tent on a full moon night, and you know I really wasn't sure. I was just laying there, and I seen him, and I went, boo! Looked like someone stuck dynamite up his tushy, and he haul butted. That is a nice footprint.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is very nice.
Was that
Yeah,
four
if you-
toes? 1, 2, 3, 4.
No. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
got all
they're-
five
Oh, I see
toes.
5. Okay. Yeah, I can see the coal, crushed coal in there.
And see the ATV tracks? That's where my father, because I was just going to do the print,
Yeah.
and he said, you know what, put the tracks in there too because it shows the weight. You know,
Yeah.
It does.
if you think about an
Absolutely.
ATV, yeah, so, you know, it's kind of
Was it-
smart. An
was that
ATV, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Was that about a quarter? Was that about a quarter inch deep in the ground?
Maybe more than that.
Maybe a little bit more. It's about a half, maybe.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was a heavy boy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
each of the prints are a little bit different in nature. They're not exactly the same. And I found out through Cliff Barrickman that you don't want them to be exactly the same. You want them to slightly be different because they're walking on, you know, the land is probably not flat. So, and it's
Right.
exactly how this was. They're similar, but they're not exactly all uniformly same. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you got
Yeah.
some that's got 4 toes. You got some that's got broken bones in their toes, you know, or in their ball of the foot, or in their
Yeah.
what's that center of the foot called?
The mid-tarsal break.
Yeah, that's
Or-
it. Yeah,
Yeah. Or the mid-step. Yeah.
yeah. You know, I mean, it to me, it's almost like a facial feature.
Right.
Every squatch does not look alike.
Right.
All the ones that I've seen in my area have a human looking face.
Hmm.
Now Daniel's area might be different. He might have some like an ape, or I got one. I got a picture of it. I don't know what the hell it is. It looks
Hmm.
like a poodle. You know, it's each squatch is different. You know, but their footprints different too.
Right.
You know, I guess the more you get out there and the more you start researching, you know, when you find it tracks, you know, it's almost like a DNA print. You know, you can
Oh.
say, well, this right here walks more on the left side of his foot because maybe he had an injury or something like that. You know, you can basically identify which squat. After a while, you can identify which squat is making that track and everything. You
Right.
know, so you'll say like, okay, I know what this one is. This is that 7.5 footer. You know, he's got something wrong with his foot. You know, and that's how I learn. You know, that's how I do in my area. You know, and everything. But you know, the more you're out there, the more you will learn. You know, listen for different sounds. You know, in your area, you know every sound of a bird. You know every sound that's made in them woods. When you listen, when you go in there, open your senses up. When you hear something that you say, like a barred owl, like with me and Daniel, we heard a barred owl, which you know they can rock a holler when the
Right.
Bigfoot will. Then all of a sudden you hear something coming in, following, imitating, but the tone is higher.
Right.
You know that's a squatch. Or you hear bird call. Like juveniles love, they learn to imitate. Listen for blue jay sounds, a screech owl sound, a robin. You know, just listen for little odd sounds. Listen to the sounds that you know. That's a hell of a break.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you know. But you know, when you go in, talk and do whatever, you know, listen for walking or stick brick crunching around you, and you that way you'll know that they're following you. Have y'all got any smells yet?
Not me personally. But I think that's why, maybe they're using that area. That area where the prints were found is near the creek. And
Okay.
my thinking is maybe it's like a highway for them down through that holler. They
Yeah,
use it as a highway.
yeah,
Um,
cause they do follow the creek. They do follow these the water the stream systems
right.
traveling too. You know, and everything. That is nice. Now you say that's what 7.5 to 8 foot high.
Yes, sir.
That right there is probably about a 7.5 foot high. That's probably about an
Now,
8 foot by 6 footer. 6 to 8 footer did that.
well, now looking at that tree right there, just from judging from visual here, that's not a rotted tree either. It's
No.
No,
that's a fresh, strong, what green tree. I'll call it green as in being fresh and strong.
Yeah,
Uh,
it
yeah,
was.
that's definitely took some strength and force to break that like that.
yeah.
So,
Oh, another thing. When you notice these breaks, do you notice if they right there where the break is? Do you notice if there's a twist in it?
Well, not on that particular tree. It looked like it was almost like it was pushed over. I mean, you kind of
Right.
see, or maybe where it was held and pushed. But now I do have a video from December 24th. We stayed at the cabin up there over Christmas.
Right.
And I've got an older tree that's probably about 3 inches around, but you can see where it had been twisted and broken,
Yeah.
definitely.
Will take and they'll make it like a straight break, but
Hmm.
they'll take and twist it slightly to the right or slightly to the left.
That's the way this one looks.
hmm.
You're lucky. You are lucky. And
I consider myself being lucky that I'm able to go over there and be in what I consider the most beautiful place on earth, and I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. I think that we're lucky to be in the area we're in.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. The more you look at them structures, in other words, they're teaching you about them. All you got to learn to do is read and just read the signs. That's how I learned about my squatch. I went in there, I listened, and I learned. They taught me.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, there's a lot of stuff that people say this ain't. You'll find that they'll say this is a bunch of bull crap. When you go in there and you start researching, just take your time to go in there. To have a family day, walk around, and just start noticing things. Because once you start noticing, letting yourself open up, you won't believe what you'll be seeing. You'll recognize. You'll see something that you didn't see a week ago. You're like, wait a minute. Even though it's not noticeable to anybody else, but you say like, you'll see something and you'll notice that it's not quite right.
Right.
But any other time, you might walk by the same tree for 3 days in a row and never notice it. But once you start opening it up and just looking, that's where you start learning. They will teach you whatever you want to know. All you got to do is just open yourself up, listen, observe.
Well, they definitely let
That's
us
the
know
main
that
thing.
night they were yelling and whooping it. It had us freaked out. And then when it happened in the daytime, that's when it really freaked us out. I mean,
Yeah.
and it was lightly raining that day during the daytime when that happened.
That's
Heard them
awesome.
make sounds. I've heard them make sounds in Daniel's area because one day we went in there and I said, I'm going to let a yell and whoop. And what 5 seconds later, a yell come right back at me, less than 30 yards. But in my area, they're not very vocal. You'll hear whistles and tree knocks and stuff like that, but you will not hear no. What you're getting, you are daggone lucky. If you're hearing all them loud ones out loud, you're lucky.
Yeah, the video is on YouTube, and it's labeled Bigfoot Vocals in Southwest Virginia. It's about a 13-minute long video.
Oh, okay.
And it starts at 2:38 mark.
Oh, wow, man.
Well,
Yeah.
and another thing, to hear vocalizations, period. If you're hearing vocalizations, that right there is going to tell you. That tells you right there. There's a population there. Either if it's like just 2, 3, or you got a clan there or a group that's in that area. That's because
Exactly.
apparently if one's communicating, there's another one or more than one. So that's something to keep in mind as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had an audio. I say he's an audio expert. I don't know I know his real name is Devin. Monago Helia or Gila.
Yeah.
He's in some of these organizations. He was the very first person that I had actually contacted and sent it to, and through his expertise in filtering out everything, he claimed we had 2 there that night vocalizing, one with a bass voice and one with more of a baritone, and that was his conclusions.
So he was saying it was 2 males or a male and a female.
He just said it was two Bigfoot vocalizing, one with a bass tone and the other with a baritone. That's all he would say.
Mm.
You are damn lucky, man. I tell you.
Mm.
I think I'm very privileged. Like I say, the areas, we don't drink or do anything like that. We just we go up there, hang out, and play games and Bigfoot. And I'll be honest, I'm about the only one that really does it. Now, there was 11 of us there that night, and they get excited when things happen, and I take pictures and all that. But as far as any of the family really going out with me, my nephew does quite a bit, Cody, but and my son Seth. But other than that, it's kind of on my own.
Have
And
you and your nephew ever gone out at nighttime, just to, like, take a nighttime walk?
We have, but I'll be honest, I don't like to go too far up in the woods. To me, it's scary.
Oh, they're not going to hurt. They're not going to hurt you.
Well, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about more of the bears or supposed mountain lions that are roaming around there. I mean, I've got tracks here on my phone of a mountain lion. I mean, it's not a bobcat; it's too big, but
Yeah.
don't have anything on game camera.
Yeah, I tell you, mountain lions, they're very elusive. They're not, of course. What's the right way to put this? They will definitely try to avoid you. I mean, now it's different If you
Yeah,
come
because
within a certain range, especially if they have cubs or kittens, whatever, I mean,
yeah,
they're gonna let you know. I mean, they're gonna let you know of their presence, but they're not gonna. You keep your distance, regardless if it's alone or not. They'll avoid you. Same thing with
yeah,
bears. Bears will actually run the other way. I mean,
yeah,
most
Yeah.
times
yeah,
they'll smell you before you even get close to them.
yeah. Because once a bear
So
smells you, he's about 100 miles an hour in the other direction. They don't want to come nowhere near a human.
Yeah.
And like Daniel, like Daniel said, a cat at nighttime will avoid you. All they're wanting to do is go out and eat. They come across a human, they'll go a mile out of their way to get around you. So you really ain't got nothing to worry about.
Mhm.
now, through studies on bears, another thing about bears themselves, actually, it's with black bear, especially here in Virginia. Some of the research and studies I've done, and this is what I've read up on, and it makes sense because I've noticed it for myself. With a black bear, even with cubs, they will become aggressive, but it's very unlikely or rare. But you don't want to test those boundaries. But now a black bear that's by themselves, yeah, there's been probably there's been no reports of the activity as far as them being aggressive or attacking. They like I mentioned earlier, they're black bears on the most part are elusive, even though they are seen. But yeah, they're definitely a creature that wants to stay voided. I mean, they want to avoid others, or because
I was,
they are actually have kind of a shy animal. I mean, but as far as studies go, black bears are not aggressive animals, but
I was,
they
I'll be
have
right
been
back.
known to, but it's very rare. Um, which black bears is very interesting, and like I know several people, several times have I shared this information. Uh, but black bears, I'm going to tell you what, start observing black bears, the signs, their tracks, and even a lot of tree breaks are actually associated with a lot of black bears as well. But it's something to start paying attention to, and you're going to start finding some interesting finds there because a lot of times black bears, their tracks, a lot of people misidentify them all the time as Sasquatch tracks. But yeah, start observing the black bears and the signs, and and this is my theory, and this is not a this excuse me, this is not a fact, but my theory is where there's black bears, there's squatches. Even though I believe they definitely avoid each other, but I believe where squatches go, it's where black bears go, it's where squatches are because they share the same habitat. A lot of their diet is pretty much the same. They're omnivores. I mean, they eat both meat and vegetation. Bears they scavenge off of bugs and grubs and whatever is underneath a rock. They flip rocks. You see 'em, I see all the signs. They dig into trees, dead rotted trees, looking for insects and so forth. But it's something definitely pay attention to the black bears. You'll actually start understanding a lot more. So, um, I find black bears alone very interesting. Especially when I find signs of them. I mean, I was like, okay, when I start seeing signs that they've been in that area or they're working specific areas, it's another reason why I start paying attention to these areas. And some of these areas I've been focusing on where the black bears are, this is where I've been finding a lot of my squash signs, tracks, different structures. Very awesome stuff. Um, I mean, there's some other things I'm looking. Well, I got some other things I can't wait to share later on, but and I have some other things I have to check into. But one thing you were saying, Sam, it was kind of actually answering a question I was going to ask. Because when you said you pretty much do it alone when you go out with your family and everything, do you because what I was going to ask was, do you actually have a group that you try to get to go out with you that try to get them involved, or is it basically are you kind of like a solo act on this in this situation?
Well, no, I do it by myself mainly because one, it's not my property, and
Oh, I got you.
yeah, well, I'm sure that they would let people in there, a few people that possibly like you guys that are serious people about it, but we're not just going to let any John, Dick, or Harry in there. So, but
Absolutely.
I kind of enjoy doing it alone because I can take my time and I think that my family knows that they give me the time to go up into the woods and do what I want to do and look at what I need to. And but getting back to the bear thing, the thing about the bears and the deer in our area, like I was telling you, my brother-in-law, he's an avid hunter, so we've got 2 stuffed bears in the cabin, and deer and bobcat and fox. So it's we know a lot of the he knows a lot of it better than I do. So if I have a question about something, for example, I had found some scat, didn't know what it was, because like I was telling you, I'm a beginner, but come to find out it was coyote scat. But I bagged it up, didn't know what it was, and he told me exactly what it was. So I go to him for a lot of advice on nature when I have questions.
Yeah. There's one thing. Yeah. There's
Oh,
one thing.
sorry. Go ahead.
That's right. There's one thing you don't want to do.
Oh,
Say like if you get some people who want to come in there, like say some people from your town and will say, hey, we want to go in and check out your squashes. The worst thing you can do is go in and they hear it and they chase it. You don't ever want to chase a squatch because if you constantly do it, you're gonna run them out of the area. So when you go in, do what you normally do. Like I say, when you hear them or you see them and you acknowledge them.
Did we lose communication here?
No, I hear you.
No.
I hear ya.
Yeah.
No, your picture might have froze up, but you still got audio.
No,
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I was saying,
like I say,
I do it all myself. I caution to take people or tell people where it's at, but for the pure reason, like I was saying, it's not my land. And for number 2 reason is also, I think if I get too much action going on in there, then they're gonna kind of move out of the area. The squatches might move out of the area into another area, and I definitely don't want that to happen.
Yeah, because it's like in my area, when I go.
Can anybody hear me right now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear ya.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm just listening. I just joined in. I'm sorry I'm late.
Oh, that's okay. Cool. It's like when I go into my area, I acknowledge that they're there. I'll say, I hear you. Y'all doing a good job sneaking, and I'll go about my business. And they know that I'm not going to hurt them because you go in. When you know that they're there, talk to them. It's like, hey, I see you over there. What are you doing, peeking? Just do some off the wall stuff, and they will get used to you. And when you come in the woods, they will know you're there before you know that they're there and everything. So when you when you go in the woods,
I'm new to all this, so I apologize. I don't know if you guys are. I've never done this before.
Okay, this is you, Ray?
Yeah, this is me. How are you?
All right, welcome aboard, buddy. Yeah, I'm going to actually get to you in just a second, Ray. I'm glad you were able to make it on. So.
Yeah. But like I say, when you go in, do what you normally do. Acknowledge that it's there, but just keep looking around. When you see a structure, go up to it, touch it, look at it, talk about it. That right there, tells
mic on because I'm losing audio. I can't hear anything.
Yeah. When you go in to see the structures, when you go in to see the structures, go up to it, touch it, talk about it. Just take your whole hand, just rub the crap out of the tree. That will let them know, like, hey, he knows what to look for. That drives their curiosity, and they will get used to you, and that's what you want. Eventually, if you start leaving gifts, they will leave you gifts as a sign of trust. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear ya.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Awesome. We're getting a full house tonight. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about.
Oh no, you're all right.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I just know I got stuck. We're getting some severe weather out this way, so I'm in Ohio, and we're getting dumped down with snow, and the temp is about 18 degrees without the wind chill. So.
Yeah, that's the kind of weather we've been having here in Virginia. So.
Vicious.
Fill
me in. What I missed.
All right. Well, Sam Deloach right here. on down here on the board here. He was just sharing some of his Bigfoot experiences and a lot of some of his findings. He's actually located down in East Tennessee, and he's got a private research location that he's been kind of researching and studying on, and actually come across some pretty impressive Bigfoot evidence. He's got a cast that he shared with us, and he showed us a couple of his tree breaks he found, and it's pretty awesome because a lot of what he's describing and what he's sharing with us, as far as a lot of the vocalizations, it's actually a lot of the same stuff that me and Fred Candy actually experienced here up in Virginia. And of course, we're many miles apart as far as, well, when I say many miles apart, I'm referring to me and Sam because he's down in Tennessee. But yeah, as far as the different vocalizations and structures, and he also mentioned barred owls, the sound of barred owls that sound like imitation, which that's another thing that we experience up here. And which Fred could pretty much well explain a lot about that. But yeah, while you're on here, we got before we if there's a chance we might lose you because of the weather you're having down there. I was gonna go ahead and try to get into a little discussion with you. Even though no, we can't see you on here right now. If anyone wants to know, or if they don't know who Ray Gardner is, if everyone had a good look at Glenn, they actually almost look alike. They have some similarities, but Glenn is muted right now and he's hiding somewhere. And oh wait, there he is. There's Glenn right there. And we were talking about that the other day. I shared your picture in a group chat, Ray, and it was your profile picture of you and Cliff Brackman. And
Oh
yeah,
yeah. That's
Glenn's
one of my
wife Cheryl.
He's a nice guy, man.
Yeah.
What's
that?
Have you had a chance to meet him? He's really nice.
I've had some chats with him, but I haven't emailed him in a while. He was actually curious about some of the some casts I shared on Twitter, and we emailed back and forth for a little while. I haven't talked to him recently, but yeah, he seems like a pretty cool guy. He's interested. I need to get some information together for him because he wants more information about my tracks.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe, huh?
Well,
hold on. Sounds like your audio is breaking up.
That's where that was the first time I actually got to meet him.
Okay, now where was this at? If you said that it broke up, I didn't hear that part if you mentioned it.
No, it's no problem. He's going to be at the Ohio Bigfoot Conference this year. That was the first time I actually got to talk to him in person. So we exchanged emacs. So.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I actually have a picture, but like I said, I'm new to all this, guys, so you have to forgive me. But I actually have a picture of what I found a juvie print actually out at private locations, location 1, which is it really is a public area, but the where I go, it actually borders public and private.
Okay.
But it was about long, perfect print. So.
Now, let me ask you. Now, Ray, you will be joining the ECBRO and Apex expedition here in June, correct?
Oh yeah, yep. I'll be there.
That is awesome. Well, everyone here on the panel below, we're all already signed up and intended to go. Of course, between me and Dan Baker, there's something we discussed and arranged together for the whole event. So it's something we're all looking forward to. Now, what could you tell us? Since you're a local there in Ohio, I found a couple things online. Actually from where we're going to be at, I've actually found some reports in the late 2000s. 2007. I think there was one in 2012. Some very interesting ones. One in particular where there was a couple that were on horseback, and there was a sighting that was on the horse trail right there on the outside of the camp. And now I was wondering maybe if there's something you might know that I don't know, because like I was telling Dan, it's something I was going to try to get some information together, and maybe after the first day, when everyone gets settled, we'll probably go over a few things, share some local information. But while you're on here, is there any information you could give us about that location of Beaver Creek State Park?
Well, yeah, Beaver Creek actually has a long history, believe it or not, of sightings. A lot of them still to this day, though. There's a lot of people who will not come forward on it,
Oh,
just
absolutely.
because they're still fear of ridicule and stuff. But there has been a lot of action down there. That's why I think it was a good choice to go there. I mean, Ohio, like the big ones right now, a lot of people have heard of Salt Fork, but
Yeah.
like I have a really hard time going there for one reason, is there's so many people who go there now that the problem
Wow.
is like if you go out there at night and you're calling, you don't know if somebody else is calling back to you, and
Exactly.
it's a huge pain, and there has been a
Yeah.
lot of hoaxes that have gone down there in Salt Fork. Now that being said,
Mm.
there has been 3 cases from that area also this year. Like there's another that I don't remember the last name, but his name is Mark. He's familiar with like ape. I just don't really know him personally, but he had
Right.
where he was down there doing an investigation and didn't see anything, and they stopped on this little bridge across a small creek, and his partner said, "Well, I'm going to go get the Jeep here, and we'll just head out." Well, as soon as the guy left, he's sitting there, he's literally sitting on the edge of the what do you call it, the metal guardrail thing, and
Yeah.
here he heard something. He just literally watched one cross the creek right in front of him. He went to the camera, the thing saw it off through the creek, but they actually managed to cast the prints, and they showed right through. So it was pretty interesting.
Hmm.
Beaver Creek, man, like I said, there's a lot of reports out there. History into it is good. I'm not overly familiar with all the stuff that happens there because that's Dan Baker. I do a lot more of the northeast. Like I have a private location. Actually, it's Dan Baker's private location. I'm with him. We go not very far. It's out by Lions,
Right.
and we've had some great events there. Now, I heard a gentleman black bears. I'm both very close to the same. Stuff and looking around. Funny thing is, we don't have any where I go. There are black bear, there are little mountain lions here and there. We don't have any guys that are gonna love it. People up this way. Beaver Creek have copperheads here and there, but it's very few and far between. But the thing is like I have this one location that I've been there where we've actually not only 14 and a half inch tracks, Dan Baker just last year, right? He won, and I couldn't unfortunately. He wound up having 18-inch there too. And we actually found a kill out there that like I had a professional trapper for years for the ODMR. Like I helped relocate animals and things. And I do not no kind of kill I have ever seen. It was really bizarre. It was a rabbit that was completely pulled apart. I mean, pulled apart. There's no chew marks, like like where you can see boxes, incisors, or any kind of canine, stuff like that. It was completely pulled apart, and it looked like something had eaten. It was just like a chicken wing. And at first, I thought maybe it would be like a bird of prey because we do have red-tailed hawks, and we got we used to call them sparrowhawks, but it's actually a falcon, smaller. And we do have eagles here. And I thought, well, at first maybe I thought that's what it was, but then when you look at it, the innards were actually removed, and they were about 10 foot away from the actual kill site, and the innards were eaten whatsoever. And like I mean, when I say that, I'm talking about the awful, like the internal, like large intestine kind of thing. All that stuff was in a pile set aside,
Hey,
and the rest of
hey, Ray, could I interrupt you real quick? Yeah, because I know everyone on the panel and then viewers actually messaging me. No, you're going in and out and a lot of audio. Hold on, I'm getting feedback as I talk. But I don't know. Do you have would you have to have a headset or some headphones you could put in to your
I
device? Because it's getting a lot. It's the audio is in and out,
Hello?
and then I'm getting
Hello?
feedback as well.
give me 1 second. I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
Happened.
All right. Hold on. Okay. While he's taking care of that there, I'm gonna hold on. Let me check something here. Okay. All right. He's. I'm gonna let him take care of that. Yeah.
Sam,
Yes,
Yeah. Go
sir.
ahead, Fred.
what was how did you feel when y'all first heard them sounds the first night? What was the first thing that crossed your mind when you heard that the noise they were making, the
What?
communication between them? What was the first thing? What was like? Was it like what was that or you feel?
Right. We knew that the yells and the whoops were out of place. Of course, the barred owls, they were distinct. I mean, you could tell the barred owls from the whoops and yells. But our first reactions, well, mine was exactly what I say in the video. What the hell was that? I mean, it's whenever it's not right. I mean, you know that something's different about what you just heard.
Yeah. Well, how did the rest of your family feel? I mean, what was their thoughts when they heard it?
Excitement.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were all excited. My kids pretty much don't. They could care less, and yeah. But the rest of the group, what got me was my brother-in-law being excited because if he didn't know what it was, then that got me excited because he knows everything that's in the woods.
Right.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That's a real thing right there because I tell you the excitement. Fred could tell you when I got excited. Uh,
Oh
Back in
boy.
2013 when me and him camped, we just got done hiking the ridge up behind our camp. All right, and we found some large tracks. Actually, when we come back down, approaching back towards the camp, we've found some large tracks in the grass. But later that night, we were sitting around a campfire, just nonchalant, just carrying on a conversation, and from out of nowhere, probably 50 yards or less, probably a lot less. I mean, four loud, clear whoops, whoops. I mean, really loud, real loud, clear whoops. And I was excited because I kind of jumped up. I said, "Fred, you hear that?" It was awesome. I mean, the excitement to hear it, how close it was, and knowing what it actually was, because no other animal out there is gonna whoop unless it's a primate.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. But I'll tell you what, there was a disappointment with that. We had audio set up, but it wasn't recording at that time. Go
Yeah.
figure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had borrowed this thermo flare audio machine from a friend of mine, and he didn't tell me that it was another guy down in Texas used it and messed it up,
Hmm.
and I got it. And if that machine would have been working perfect, we'd have got thermo, image, and audio. The only thermo I got was the game warden busting his butt next to the thermo machine. He never knew it was there. He tried to walk over to us and he busted his butt. And I got that on the thermo.
Excuse me,
Everything you
gentlemen.
know.
Can you hear any better now?
Okay. Yeah, we hear you, Ray.
Is it coming in better?
It just sounds good to me. How about everybody else?
Wow.
Ah,
I don't know where that came from.
Nice.
No, but almost.
No, I don't think that. I don't think that's you, Ray. It was coming. I think it was coming from somewhere else earlier.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have to make a comment because I did hear Sam talking about the barred owl thing.
Yeah.
I have a story about that, Sam. You'll probably really enjoy if you don't mind me telling it real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead.
go
My
for it.
pleasure.
I'm very familiar. We have barred owls all over the place out here, and we actually have one that we hear so much when we're out there that we actually nicknamed him Hootie. And yeah, he's like, and we joke because one of the guys in my group, like that goes with me, he's a big old boy, and every time that dude talks, that owl starts doing the hoo 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 kind of thing, and we laugh our butts off at it every time. Well, the one night we actually came out, we had just stepped out of the car, we haven't even set anything up. We were just walking away from the car, and this was about 11 o'clock at night. Next thing I know, I hear what sounds like a barred owl, but it didn't sound right, and it actually did like a woo 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 kind of sound. And I looked and I thought, well, man, that is really bizarre. And I'm used to, I've heard the barred owls do that monkey chatter too, where they do that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I'm like looking, and all of a sudden, like we heard something behind us that was off in the woods, and it was a good 80 yards from us. So we all turned to look, and all of a sudden, the owl did the sound again, and what we thought was the owl at the time, it did a woo woo woo, and all of a sudden it just stopped from there and went into like I swear it sounded like a howler monkey at a zoo. It went into like a wah wah wah, and every
That's
hair
awesome.
on my neck stood up, man. And the one guy that was with us, when we always tease about it, he's 6'5", and that dude was shaking like a leaf. And he's
Oh
a country.
wow.
He asked me flat out, he was like, "What the hell was that?" And and he was ready to go back to the car. And I said, "No, no, dude, just stay for a minute." And I think after we thought more about it, what it did is I think the one that was actually what that sound was behind us was trying to distract us from maybe one that needed to cross that field. Because as soon as it did that, everybody went looking that way. And
Bingo.
you know,
Bingo.
we actually did hear a knock in the woods off in the distance after it was all said and done. Because I went in the car and I we have a huge, huge light, and I kind of, stuck the area to see maybe because I thought, well, heck, I don't know what it was, and I just shined a light just to see, and like you could hear it going through the woods, man. It was gone. So
That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, because I've had experience where I'm walking through an apple orchard and I'm walking ready to go around the bend toward the back of it, and right over to my left behind me, I hear three massive knocks. I turn and say, no, I better not. And I turn back around the way I was walking, and I caught two cinnamon blonde girls squatches running across in front of me. So yeah, they will take and distract you for the other one to get across to where he's going without being seen. That's one ploy that I've learned that they do, and they do it constantly.
oh yeah, well,
That's
believe me, we got our eyes for it now. We know we do. I mean, that was the first time that happened.
uh-huh.
Impression,
Yeah,
buddy.
they
Hmm.
taught you. Yeah, they taught you something, didn't they? That's good.
Cool.
That's good when something like that happens. I mean, I set up some cinnamon buns, and I told them it was there. I went down the bottom of the hill, and even with my back to them, over to my left, about 40, 50 yards, they were breaking trees, they were breaking limbs, making all sorts of noise to get me to go over there so they can get up, so they where I couldn't see them. But I learned I'm not going over. I'm just going to sit where I'm at, and then you'll hear them. Then you'll hear them move. Then you hear them chatter. Then you go back up there, and they'll leave you a gift. But the thing about it is what they do to distract you.
Mm.
That's what I like. They would
Oh,
they. I've learned a lot since they. I mean, even today, well, not now until spring, but all during the summertime, that's what I kept hearing. I kept hearing noises to my left, then I would hear something to my right move. That's one thing I learned about them. They will do that constantly.
hey Fred, it's just nice to talk to you, like in person, kind of. I've never done that. We only talked on Facebook.
Well, I'm glad to meet you.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I
Um,
mean, but
I'll tell
that's
you.
not. Yeah, but it's something people don't realize. That a Squatch they would do that to distract you. It's a distraction mechanism that they use. And every time I go in the woods, I'm hearing that. But each time I hear it, I learn. Okay, there's one over there. There's another one here somewhere that wants to get around me without me seeing them. Then I
Yeah,
learned. Oh, yeah, and then I've learned. Well, okay, I'll act dumb, and I'll say, okay, I hear you, and I'll keep walking. Now I'm gonna start doing what Scott Carpenter did. I'm gonna put a camcorder facing behind me because 98% of the action happens behind you.
bingo. Yep, that's what we're doing this season too.
Good man.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, like, real quick, because I know I don't really get to talk to Dan and you guys very much. It's nice to meet everybody, so I appreciate you letting me in, even though I was late. We, I gotta tell you, we did have one incident where they did re-gift something to us, but it's something I wasn't familiar with. I wasn't expecting, and I didn't really pay much attention to it at first. And it was actually another researcher who brought it up. Is when we go out, like I actually do take like apples because there's apple orchards around there, and I try to leave them what's in the area. I don't like I know some people leave candy bars and stuff, and I'm like, great, that's all I need is to have a diabetic Bigfoot because of me, you know. And, I take the apples and I leave them and I jam them off on trees where I know they can't reach them. So like that's what we were doing this forever. We still do when we go at this one location. It's called Location 1. That's what we call it. And but the one day we got there, we had gone in on trail like that we normally do, and we went way off in the back, and I went ahead and put the apples up, and we came out, and then we decided to work this other side of this lake. This place is massive. I mean, it's really huge. I mean, there's two giant, beautiful lakes there, and there's tons of rivers that come in and out, which they can travel, and no one will see them. And so anyway, we went way off in the back on the other side of the lake. Well, on the way back, we came in the same trail we went in, out the same way we went in, and there was actually a rabbit left dead center of the trail we went in on. And it was dead, but there was no puncture wounds. There was no saliva matted to the fur like you'd see with like a fox or even a coyote. And there was nothing missing. It wasn't, it was just dead, and it was there, and it was still warm. So I thought, when I first, I wasn't expecting something like that. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. And, like the one guy brought it to my attention, but he's a big-hearted guy. I mean, he's a real nice guy. He's just, I can't explain. He's just a big-hearted guy. So he moved it on the side of the trail and he put a flower on it. And then like after we left, I said, that's kind of weird. I was like, I hope we didn't like offend them if that's what they were doing, was leaving us something to eat. So we went back and the rabbit was gone. So we never had anything else happen with like that kind of a gift. I mean, we found some twisted sticks and that kind of stuff, but nothing like crazy over the top we've heard of. So
Wow, that's pretty awesome though. That's interesting though. I mean, it's weird when you come across an experience out in the field. I mean, some things just straight up bizarre.
What is hey Fred, what is one of the best things to leave for Bigfoot as far as a gift? I know apples, but like a materialistic thing.
I don't know. I left 40 cents. I had a quarter, a dime, a nickel, and a penny. And you take and you set it in a certain position, like you say, you might flip the quarter on its tails, heads, tails, like that. You come back. If they've been there, they will flip the coin over. They will flip everything the opposite way, or stack some rocks up a certain way, and they will restack it a certain way.
Okay.
Now I've left peanut butter, bananas, anything healthy is what I give them. But if you want to see how intelligent they are, all right, since your area is you're the only person that goes in there looking for them, find a spot that's out in the open. Take a rake with you, clean out around it.
Fred, you're
okay, and take and put something on like a stump or something like that, or a down tree, and take and stack it a certain way, and then rake around it on the way out. And then that way, when you come back, you'll know if something's been to that spot. Like you'll find a track or something like that, but look at the things you left. Best thing you do is make it, take a picture of it. Come back next day or a couple days later with that picture and look. And they will play a game with you. Just try that.
Okay.
Another thing you try, I haven't done this, but I've heard of other people doing this. A lot of them leave ornamental type decorations, anything that's Native American related.
Or bright and shiny. Something bright and shiny.
That's a good one. I've seen people leave like Mardi Gras beads, maybe some Christmas ornaments. Things that will maybe spark their curiosity. That might hey, I mean, you never know. These are things that, I mean, I have yet to try these things. Sometimes I've experimented and tried to build like my own little like teepee type structure, like a couple of feet off the ground or something like that. That might say, hey, well, they didn't do it. Maybe they might want to check it out.
Hey, here's something to try, Daniel.
Yeah.
in your gifting area, take a next to a tree, take two sticks and make weave them and make
Yeah.
like a plus sign. Look
Oh,
what
okay.
happens to them when you come back. Look what happens when you come back. They would take the T part off and throw it or break it.
Mm.
Because if you imitate, because like I found this out in my area when I first started doing it, I made a T. They took the T out and broke the stick and threw it to the ground. They did not like that. There's something about a T that they don't like. An X they like. A T they don't.
Hmm.
Try that one time.
Well, see, perhaps they mean these different symbols mean different things to them. Because
Yeah.
one thing, you know, a lot of people don't realize our known primates. They're very, they have their knowledge is amazing, and they understand a lot of symbolic things. They have a lot of symbolic um, ways of communicating. Um, like I mean, actually, I don't even know where to start with this, but um, it's just their minds. I don't know. Is we don't understand anything. Some things we might be able to understand um, for what they, why they do things. Um, but some like I've come across like some of the structures I come across. You wonder what is it? What are they doing? Some of the ones I found actually look Native American related. Some of the ones I find Native American related, actually, a few of them actually come out of Fred's area, or right across from
Yeah.
the main camp over there.
Yeah. I tell you
And
something else. I tell you something else. Whenever you find a structure, look at the ground. Look in front of it on the ground. They usually would take sticks and make a small formation. Like they might make a circle with the X in it, or they might make like I found one area. I found the letter A and F right below a structure. Check that out, Daniel.
hmm, do you
I,
remember that? Remember that on that video I had? I did it was probably about 20 minutes, 20-minute long. I was different parts of your research area I was in, and up
yeah,
on the ridge, up behind camp, I had that image, that dark image with the eyeballs in it in the bushes.
yeah,
Well, right below that in the area, you remember? I think I shared it with you. It's what appeared to be like a handprint in the ground.
yeah,
Yeah, that was right there on the base of that trail there below that ridge where I was filming that image up there.
yeah. But
So that
whenever you find a structure, look at the ground. You might see. I mean, if you don't know what you're looking at, you won't notice. But if you look at the ground, they'll take sticks, twigs, and they'll make a little design on the ground.
yeah,
Can I add something real
yeah, absolutely.
One of the things I'm going to be trying out this year, and I'd love to claim it was my idea, but this is not. But one of the things we are going to do, I do have something new. But the one thing I was told is, and I'm going to try this out, is because he mentioned shiny, is someone
Yeah,
said to buy a pack of like unopened CDRs and make sure they're clean, and then hang them like by a rope from a tree where nothing else can reach them. And
Christmas,
I'm
Christmas
thinking.
ornaments, Christmas ornaments, like like Christmas balls.
Right. Well, I'm thinking with the flat side of the CD, though, if they touch it, I might be able to get a print.
yeah,
Nice.
I tell you what you do before you hang it. Wash it off with rubbing alcohol, then hang it up.
Oh, that's what I'm planning. Yep.
Because the like what I did with my peanut butter jars, someone told me about it, and I took and washed the peanut butter jars in rubbing alcohol, and then when the squatches would pick up the jar and unscrew the lid, they leave their fingerprints. The alcohol gets rid of all the contaminants, makes it pure and clean. Then when they touch it, the oils from their skin absorbs well, kind of it's like smudging a mirror. Makes a smudge mark. They will leave
Right.
their fingerprints. And the CD is that and Christmas ornaments, like the little shiny silver ones.
Right.
That right there is the CDs and then anything shiny. They love shiny stuff.
yeah. One thing I want to mention, for those who are not familiar with Ray, who's on here, Ray Gardner. He has a Facebook group, which he founded founder of Midnight Monsters. Um, Now, Ray, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, you're part of you got a small production crew where you do like independent films. Am I correct on that, or?
We did. Right now, unfortunately, the person who was working with us backed out on it, not because of us, but he had his own financial issues. So right
Ah,
now, I'm still trying to we have other connections here in Cleveland, so I'm hoping that I can get something happening this year. Unfortunately, it's going to be for us. It's going to be for researchers. It's not going to be
right.
entertainment. I'm not going to go out there running around screaming, and stuff like that.
What
Yeah.
what what part of Ohio are you in, Ray?
I'm in northeast Ohio. I'm in a little town. Well, I live in a town called Medina. It's actually
Oh,
south
yeah.
of. So that's actually where I
Yeah,
live.
you're east of Liverpool then.
Yeah. Yep.
Am I correct? Are you like southeast of Liverpool?
And,
Okay.
How far would that be
All
from?
right. This
How far would that be from Virginia, Daniel?
what's that? Where he's from?
Yeah.
He's probably about, I'm estimating 4 hours, because it's 5 hours from here to Beaver Creek.
Okay.
Yeah. Um. Now, another thing I want to do. This is something I want to get into a group discussion. Fred's already aware of this. I know. I think Glenn and Cheryl, and I believe Carrie's also familiar with this. Perhaps Ray and Sam, you've probably seen these pictures floating around Facebook. But I want to do a screen share. If you guys want to bear with me, I'm going to do a screen share. And when I screen share it, when I put the picture up, um, I will tell you what information I know about it. Give me a second. All right, I got two images, two pictures of this. This is the first picture. Give me a second here. Hold on, I'm gonna enlarge it here. Hold on.
Yeah,
Uh-oh, what did I do? No, I messed up. Hold on. All right,
there it is.
I'm gonna present it to everybody here. All right, have you guys seen this picture floating around Facebook?
oh yeah.
Yes.
Dan,
Now,
Are you squatting again, Daniel?
yeah. uh, yeah, go ahead, Cheryl. Get your laugh, man. 'Cause you said you wanted to get me back.
Oh, don't worry, your payback's coming in Ohio.
No, okay. Kathy's got my back. I ain't worried about it.
Oh, I can take care of her.
Okay, look at that. Look at the tail of that dog. Look at the position of that so-called squatch. Now, look from the cheekbone down to the bottom of the chin. That's the only thing that's throwing me off on this picture.
Now, when I first saw this, yeah, I said, okay, this is a setup, or this is somebody trying to get some attention. But first of all, this picture was shared from whoever shared it on Facebook. They got it from a tweet from off of Matt Moneymaker, who tweeted it on Twitter. Um,
Oh, Matt Moneymaker.
yeah, he's the one that shared this because apparently maybe he finds it incredible. Now, a little bit of background information on this from what I watched, because it was shared on two different YouTube channels. The first one was Thinker Thunker, which a lot of people are familiar with Thinker Thunker. There was only so much he could go off of. Basically, this is a picture. Um, he shared his opinion on. He believes this is real. Now, Sasquatch Central, or also Sasquatch Canada, they pretty much went through it. He pointed out a few obvious things on here, like the tail of the dog. A lot of people's attention is on the dog. The dog is pretty much, he's scared. Apparently, he's got his tail tucked between his legs. He's nervous, scared. So that was an obvious sign, which kind of brings, kind of leans you in towards, okay, this might be real. This dog is seeing something that it's not familiar with. So, they also state that, I mean, there's not enough evidence to back this up either being a hoax or either way. A lot of people do believe it's a hoax, but then again, a lot of people are starting to think that, hey, this might be a real juvenile Sasquatch. This here, let me get. Hold on. I'm going to tell you exactly where this was taken from.
South Georgia.
No, this was South Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina. I'm sorry. You're right.
Hold on, I just had it written down here. This was taken by Marion Lake, South Carolina. It actually just came from this month, February 2016. So yeah, that's the only information as far as the location. The person who took this was using a cell phone. Like I said, I don't know any other information. I tried to dig as much as I could, but that's the only bit of information I found. As far
can you zoom in? Can you zoom at that picture in?
Yeah, give me a second. Let me stop this screen share. I got another picture that I found.
Okay.
It was actually off of one of the videos. They kind of did some enhancing on the Squatch itself. I'm gonna go back out of here. All right. And I'm gonna go back to where I have the other picture. All right. All right, hold on. Here it is, right here. This is what I want. Oh crap! It disappeared. All right. Now, like I said, when I get this other picture up, it's an enhancement. All right, and now I'm gonna go do a screen share. And here it is. Here's the enhanced photo of this.
Yeah. Now look from the cheekbone down to the bottom of his chin. You remember the original movie called Planet of the Apes? Look from his cheekbone down to his chin. Look at his nose. Look at his lips.
Well, it's funny because this here. I mean, I'm just going by off of the way I'm seeing it. I mean, looking at the face, it does have the thick, heavy eyebrow ridge. Over to the left, if you look, it appears to be an ear, almost like an ear sticking out. Now, judging from some of a lot of the Bigfoot costumes I observed and looked at online does not display anything like this. The mouth, where it looks like the cheekbones kind of come in, and it looks like it's got fairly decent sized lips, like kind of thick, heavy lips.
Notice he's holding a stick. Look at his right hand. Look at his right hand aimed that stick.
It looks like the right hand might be holding. I know the left hand as well. I do see a left hand there. You can see the fingers curled up right there.
Yeah, but look at his right hand. Look at his right hand. You can see his thumb, and you can see his index. You see his index finger and his middle finger.
Yeah, I can see. If you look at that index finger, I see that if that is part of his hand, it looks like you can see it curled like at the joint and the first joint towards the tip of the finger.
Yeah, he's got his hand wrapped around that twig, because I can put my hand and hold that stick like that. What it is, he's got his hand, his palm is facing to the inside and up.
Yeah.
He's got his thumb flat, and he's got his fingers tucked underneath his thumb around that branch. I never noticed a branch before.
Yeah, I didn't really pay much attention to that till you brought that up. Viewers, we got with our viewers watching. If you guys have your opinion or something you want to share about this, or if anyone knows anything more about this than what I just shared, on the live chat, feel free to comment or ask a question about it.
Look at. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the right arm and also the left arm. To me, that there's two possibilities here. A, it is matted or cow-licked hair or fur, or B, it's some type of modified ghillie suit.
No, that's a possibility.
Yeah, I see what he's talking about, because it looks like obstructions coming off off his hair or something like that. Mm-hmm. Like you said, yeah, because I got the ghillie suit I got. It's summer colors, but this right here looks like leaves or something coming off of it. But if you look behind him, look at the leaves on the trees. and look down toward the ground, everything gets darker. But look at that. To me, it's got a greenish black color on
Now,
its left arm.
Can you guys hear me okay still?
yeah, go ahead, Ray.
Here's the thing that, to me, like I would tell you right now, if I had to put money on it, I would say it's a hoax. And the reason I would say it is there's certain things you just can't hide. First of all, like I'm one of the guys, I actually live within about 45 minutes of a big supplier to Hollywood for monster makers. And the
Yeah.
prosthesis, I think the face is a piece of prosthesis, and it's good, don't get me wrong. But there's things that I think you just can't hide, and I agree completely with the fur. First of all, they say, yeah, there's, you see them and they're matted and this and that. Well, the thing is everyone, this is one of the big questions everyone says to me when we do, like, lectures. It's like, well, everyone has a cell phone camera, how come we don't have pictures of them? I don't think that, first of all, the person who took it would have been able to think fast enough and the thing would stay still enough for her to reach out, find her phone, set it to the camera, and get it all in focus in a perfect shot. Second of all, the dog tail thing to me, like, I have a werewolf mask. If I put that on, dude, my dog hauls butt. He ain't sticking around. And, like, even though he knows it's me, he doesn't like it. But the thing that you can't hide is, like, things like where the elbow placement is. And it doesn't look like they even try to have something like an extension. And if you, from what you can kind of see on it, you can look and see where the elbow is.
That's
Second, because you're talking about the hand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this because I've never got a clear look at the hand, obviously. But we did find hand, we found a handprint Dan Baker did, and it was a handprint that was Dan Baker had found. And the thumb actually not positioned the same as humans. It's actually a little shorter. And I don't think you can fully wrap around like that. Like a lot of witnesses claim when they aim a tree cake, you'll see them put their whole hand around the tree, including the thumb, because it's harder for them to grip a whole tree like that. So for me to see him grabbing a little stick and have a longer thumb kind of stands out to me as a possible prosthetic, like glove of some sort.
that's actually that's actually a pretty good statement, observation there, and good point too. Yeah, sometimes that what you just stated. I mean, sometimes we need to hear stuff like that we don't think about.
The lips throw me off.
Yeah.
Looks like he's doing a duck face selfie.
I feel like he's taking a selfie. You're right.
Yeah, taking a selfie. How all them young teenage girls do selfies.
Yes.
And then they do that duck face.
Well, look at his feet.
So Cheryl, you saying that looks like your daughter Hannah?
Oh.
Yeah. And Diana.
Yeah. Well, another thing. Another thing, a friend of mine just told me, messaged me and said that look at his feet.
Yeah.
Look how everything is around the feet.
Yeah, it looks like
The
the
my
hair,
gu-
like the hair is covered, hiding the feet.
Could
Yeah.
it just be photoshopped in?
Well, that could, because all the juveniles and all the squatches I've seen, they've got their hair comes down, kind of like it comes down straight, and then you got your hair that comes out, short hair. It's around the feet. Because Scott Carpenter's got a video where he videoed two squatches, and one had his foot stuck out in the open, and you can see the hair coming out from around his toes and around his foot, but the hair wasn't but maybe like an inch or two, about 2 inches long, and all the ones that I seen was the exact same way. That right there looks like I got a ghillie suit, and it does the same thing as his feet does. The hair comes down. You can see where it comes down, but it's covering the whole foot, like it's got real excessive long hair. And
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing is, as far as you look on the inside the right leg, you can notice you start seeing wavy, like curly hair. How wavy it is.
Well, I mean, that could be indicative of if this is a real picture of a real Bigfoot,
Exactly.
then if it's real, then of course it's going to have long hair. I mean, it doesn't go to go to get its haircut. So that's what gets me thinking either it's A, ghillie suit, or B, its hair's long and it's just
Yeah,
where it's matted and cowlicked and
yeah,
doesn't, take care of.
yeah. Because I had a
Well, that's why.
I had a 6 footer walk out in front of me, and his hair was on his arms were long, but his rest of his the hair rest of his body was shiny as a Labrador Retriever's.
Hmm.
But from his shoulders up, it looked like he took a comb and teased it. You know. So, but I guess I mean, because I've got brown ones, reddish brown ones, black ones, cinnamon blonde ones, and every one of them the coat is different on them. But
Hmm.
the older, like we got 11 footer here, his hair is straight and not it looked like you took a comb to it. That's how smooth it is.
Well,
And
that's why I was kind of wishing Tracy would get on, but apparently
yeah,
he can't make it, or he's got to work tonight. But I listened to his encounter because I listened to his whole interview on Night Callers Radio, and the way he described it, the way I remember him describing it was, it had hair on the face, but the hair on the face was kind of short, but the rest of
yeah,
the hair was laying down, but it was long. He said it had long hair, especially the hair on the arms was like probably over 7, 8 inches longer, or if
yeah,
not longer.
yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
he had very very long hanging hair from off the arms, and because that's another thing, and I hear this with a lot of other reports. Tracy even said it too. The arms are long,
Yeah,
and so that's I think another possible trait or characteristic that Sasquatches have is long arms. Do they all have long arms? I don't know. I think they vary, like people do. I mean, but that's my opinion. But yeah, if Tracy was here, he could give better details. I mean, explain better than I can. I'm just going off of based on what I remember from his interview and his description. Um, so
So the person that took this picture has not given any information about it, or all we know it's in South Carolina and that's all we know.
yeah, it was. Trying to. I'll tell you here in a second. Tell you what little bit I do know. Layla Pate is sharing. She meant. They mentioned. Hold on, where's it at? The story. All right, it's mentioned by Layla Pate that the story says the husband took the picture by accident, calling 911. His phone was set on camera because they had just come from a birthday party. All right, if that's a story, that right there, that's kind of a red flag in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
If you listen to the details in that, I mean, you call 911, but takes a picture with his phone instead, and
Well,
that was an accident. I mean, if you're that close taking a picture of something like that, I don't know that's just a big red flag right there. I mean, you're gonna call 911. I mean, if your phone is on camera mode, it's pretty obvious. I mean, your screen's lit up as a picture. I mean, there's no buttons to push if you're on a camera mode on your phone, especially especially if it's on a smartphone. So, but I don't know. That's interesting.
hmm.
Dan, can you hear me still?
Oh yeah, I hear you, Ray.
Sorry, I didn't mean it. I just wasn't sure if my connection was lost. It's been making weird noise here. I do want
Okay, now we hear you right now. You've been going in and out earlier, but yeah, you seem to be doing all right at the moment.
to. Well, I do want to say something too. I don't know how to. Like, I don't know if there's a way to share pictures. I would love to because there was actually a report just from this last April here in Huron, Ohio, and the farmer
Right.
actually found a track on his property, and it's private property, and it's a decent track. It's 14 and a half inches, pretty well defined toes even in it. But the thing that's interesting is he had a camera trap set up pretty high up in a tree, and he was actually trying to watch where the deer are coming because it's a feed plot, And he actually caught. There's a picture on it that actually shows just what you've been talking about. It's very thin, but it's like long hair, and it appears to be what
Right.
underarm of something reaching up, but it's not like a human by any means. And like I said, we don't have that area. So I'm talking a good 5.5 foot up off the ground. It's a really
Okay.
what it is who knows. That's the problem we all have. I tell people pictures, unless it's taken by someone who's like super reputable or like National Geographic, a photo, people are gonna always cast doubt on it no matter what.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Do you have a picture of what you're talking about?
yeah, it was actually, and I'm not going to take away from other people because it was posted from the BFRO.
Oh, okay.
It was an interesting picture, but I do have a copy of it, and it was given to me for that reason.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say if it was something that was a public thing to share, I mean, I could,
It's
if you were to send to me, I could share it openly. But yeah, if it's, a discreet sharing, I won't violate nothing there. But um, trying to think.
Is that-
Cheryl, are you there, Cheryl?
Oh yeah,
Okay, you're just hiding.
just like you, Daniel.
Well, I'm the host. I could do that.
I'm the star. I can do that.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, I see you got Hannah's face up there. It resembles the juvenile Sasquatch so much.
She's gonna kill you, Daniel.
There
Oh,
you go.
Isn't she a little good, cute little squatch?
yeah. If she's listening right now, congratulations on the honor roll she got recently. So
She's got honor roll almost all year so far.
that's awesome. That is awesome. Um, Now I know you said Hannah had some questions lined up. I don't know. Do you have
Well,
them available, or do you?
I had them lined up.
Oh, okay. Well, if
I
you want
was
to
just giving her something to prepare.
I gotcha. Well, you want to go ahead ask a couple questions, and and then we could use them as a group chat discussion here.
All right.
All right, let's hear it.
All right. When they die,
Mm-hmm.
I want to know why haven't anybody found like bone or bone fossils or something?
Oh.
That's
You know what I
simple.
mean?
That's
They
Yeah,
simple.
we've
bury
actually
their
had a
dead.
yeah, we've actually had a good discussion on this not long ago that I shared some information on. But
You
Sam, if
didn't
you want
share
to
with
go,
me.
Well,
okay, well I'll let Sam start off.
I think it takes what 7 days, 7 to 9 days for a carcass to fully decompose in nature.
Right.
So that's with rodents eating the bones and everything. I mean, it doesn't take long for nature to recoup a dead carcass. So that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons. I mean, how many times have okay, here's a great example. My brother-in-law again is a hunter. He's never ever seen a dead bear carcass as many years as he's been hunting in the woods for 38 years.
Absolutely, good
That is
So
point.
true.
Well, Daniel,
that's my theory on it.
Daniel got
It
lucky and
might be
found one.
something different, but that's my theory.
I think they buried their
I've got
dead.
one I can give you too if you're interested.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Yeah,
Well,
because
I'll
For the-
I'll tell you something after Fred's done talking that will back what Fred just what that'll back that up. I mean, some people won't go along with it. A lot of people ain't gonna agree, and I don't expect them to agree. But go ahead, Fred. I'm gonna let you start off, and I'll jump in on that.
okay, yeah. Now my theory is that they bury their dead because that's the human part in them. Because they're, in my opinion, they're a human hybrid mixed with a hominid. And what do
I don't think
humans
you
do
heard
with
you,
their
Daniel.
dead?
Or I
Like
lost you. One of the
like the Indians either buried them or set them on what they call a spirit bed. Some of them catch them on fire to disintegrate the body. That's what the Vikings did back
two.
centuries ago. But I'm thinking that they buried their dead.
And I'm gonna jump on in on that, and that's one thing I believe in because I mean I've said it before, and I believe bears do the same thing. Um, Now, a lot of animals, and before I actually specify on primates themselves, is where I'm going to go at with this. But there's a number of animals. Well, I'll mention a few. A lot of people don't realize this, but a fox will bury their own dead. Um, and this is kind of weird too, but I've read up real brief that if everyone's familiar with what a magpie is, it's a bird.
It's a crow. It's a crow.
Yeah, right. And so they actually have a tendency to do such. A lot of times, a lot of animals. There's certain animals that do practice rituals. Now primates, I will share with primates. Now it's been reported that chimpanzees have been known to bury their dead. Um, According to what I read about, they use grass and sticks and trees to
Yeah,
cover.
yeah.
Um,
Jane Goodall had a video of a family of family of chimpanzees and gorillas that when
hmm
when one of their family members died, they were taken like put them in a hiding spot and cover them with leaves and grass and all sorts of stuff, and they also lay flowers on them at
Hello, can you
times
guys hear me?
too,
Yep.
and
Yep.
they
I
do
couldn't hear
mourn.
Fred at all.
They do mourn for their dead. And there was another guy. There was a guy back in early
You
'70s,
got it.
late '60s, early
Be
'70s,
careful.
who actually got a video of squatches burying their dead. Now where that video is, I don't know. I
Can you
seen it
repeat
one
what Fred
time
actually said?
back years
Yeah, that'd
ago.
be great.
Yeah.
But I seen it years ago, but I don't know what happened to it. But a guy videoed a family of squatches burying their dead.
Now, another thing I'll just speak briefly on. I'm not going to get into a long, scientific study, explanation, or whatever you want to call it. But if everyone understands the normal breakdown or the process, hold on, we got a dog barking somewhere.
Not mine.
That was
Okay.
me. I
Oh, okay.
apologize.
It's sorry.
I had to get
Um,
up. I had to get up and walk around for a second.
okay. But yeah, now where I was going at, referring to death, when the body dies, it's the whole process is called taphonomy. It's the breakdown of the body and the decay. There's stages involved, Elgar mortis, all the above. And I don't have the rest of my notes in front of me, but I'm going to try to speak offhand. Um, yeah, you got the process that it goes through. When the body dies, the blood starts to cool down. The blood will settle. And then you got the bloat period where the body will start bloating where the gases are formed. Um, and then of course it starts breaking down and the tissues start deteriorating and becoming tough and rigid. And to make a long story short, after the body breaks down and you got the skeletalization, stage. I mean, that's when you got the soil. The soil plays a big role in it. A lot of people especially in a lot of areas. I know here on the East Coast, over on the West Coast is more known for acidic soil because of the heavy rainfalls. Acidic soils play a big role in the breakdown of bones and the decay. Now in primates, if we relate Bigfoot to our known primates, primate bones actually have a faster decomposition breakdown system. Unlike humans, our remains, you know, become fossilized. They remain for a longer period of time. But like I said, in primates, their bones will decompose and pretty much become returned to the earth as it is dust. Now there has been actually there is records of you know fossils of like chimpanzees and other smaller monkeys found in down in the rainforests, the South America and so forth. Um, but I believe a lot of that, the acidic soils and the belief of the primate bones have a lot in common with Bigfoot. I mean, that's my 2 cents on it. But as far as the breakdown and everything, that's a lot of people don't realize the acidic soil and how that has a key role in a lot of the remains. The other thing is, a lot of bones actually when an animal's been dead for a while. Look at a deer bones. I've come across a lot of deer bones by mistake because what appears to be a stick with covered with moss is actually a bone. I've actually found that before.
Hmm.
Actually belong to a deer, and because when a deer's been dead for a while and their bones just sit there, Yeah, they actually get growth that grows over them, and they
Yeah,
kind of blend in and hide with the the forest floor.
yeah, 'cause you got squirrels, rodents
Can I add
that
something to
that
that?
yeah that gnaw on the bones and everything, and then you got the squirrels. They'll take a gnaw into them and get the marrow out
Right.
and
Can I
Uh,
everything.
add something to that?
yeah, go ahead.
The other thing people don't realize is there's three other things to keep in consideration. One, when you're talking about the bones, I'm the same way. I found deer bones all over. I used to be a hunter also. Um, but the thing is like we found cattle bones too, and after a certain amount of time, people forget that the bones will actually calcify. And once they
Hmm.
calcify, other rodents like groundhogs and things like that will actually gnaw on the bones for the calcium. So like that's another way.
Exactly.
If there's bones left after a while, there aren't going to be any. But the thing that people don't realize is you think when you were talking about primates, think of gorillas too. Like they didn't know that exactly how gorillas went and died in the past, like until recently when they've actually still actually climbed up to almost the top of a tree in the higher canopy, and he died quietly there, so it was peaceful for him. And the avian, carrion eaters, like were actually once he blowed and started falling apart, they were picking at him, everything fell out of the tree and spread across the forest floor. So that's one other thing. And then the third thing I would tell people is there is no fossil record for a gorilla. They've never found one fossilized. And I think that's a huge
Mm.
part of the thing is because they've found teeth that are very, very specific soil, but they've never found like a complete skull or anything. And to me, that's just proof that, like they decay very rapidly. So it's like, I've seen I believe it was Sam said, after 7 to 10 days, a deer is gone, and you're talking
Yeah.
about something very well find a very quiet place to die peacefully. Even if there's no other ones around that bury them, which I'm not against that idea. But I mean, if like I said, people get old, too. It's like you want to go quietly, and I think that's kind of the same logic. Is they know they're ill. Same thing like elephants. They go and they die peacefully, quietly, where no one will bother them. And I have a feeling that's probably the same with some, especially ones that are like solitary.
Absolutely. I heard and made out most of what you said, and 'cause, you are breaking out again. But exactly with what you said, and this is something actually you pretty much almost repeated what I have actually mentioned and stated in my. I have a small booklet, and it's I go into a lot better, clearer details, even though I mean I have sections in there, and I talk a lot about primates, and I did actually part of my studies is all put on in the book, and yeah, a lot of animals know their time of death. So it's like what you said. Well, they'll go and die in peace. You know, and that's where I believe a lot of times, like our bears. Your what you stated earlier. It is a known fact that you know no one has ever come across. Well, I can't say no one because many years ago in caves and over in Russia they have found bear remains and stuff in a cave. I believe this is the same case with a lot the bears here in North America where they do find and locate dens and stuff, and it's where I'm sure if you go into a cave somewhere and explore it deep enough, you might find remains of a bear. But like you said, of natural causes, you know, we don't find bears that die. It's not common. I mean, yeah, it's more common to spot a bear than you will ever see one dead. So that's actually a very good observation, a good statement. I like that though.
Completely in agreement with you. And the fact too is, when you're talking about that, you also got to throw in. We know how many bears there are. We know there's tons and tons and tons of different variations of bears. We don't know how many like Sasquatches are actually roaming around, especially in North America. Like
Right.
there's a big. Some people say there's 2,000 and that kind of thing, which I am very skeptical of it being that small. I think it'd be a lot more actually. I just think it's in denser areas, obviously, but I learn something new every day when I'm researching because it's like I mean, I heard recently there was a report about one walking away from a campground with a garbage bag. So who knows what they really are doing? And the environment changes, the animals are going to adapt to it. So
Yeah. I've, I haven't heard about one walking away in a trash bag. But I've heard, on several occasions, I've heard they've been spotted around dumpsters. I mean, dumpster diving or whatnot. I mean, scavenging like bears would do. That's why. And another thing, and I've said this, and I'll say it again. I'll probably keep saying it probably every time I get on here or I put it in blogs. But I compare bears and squatches, very similar. Their patterns are so much the same. I mean, they have so much similarity with their trackways. I mean, of course, the bears often their tracks are often mistaken for squatches because, and that's all from a lack of you know awareness and educating. A lot of people don't get out in the outdoors. They're not familiar with a lot of this, so that's why a lot of it's identified. If you got somebody that randomly goes out on once in a blue moon, and they come across a trackway made by a bear, if they see a double step bear track, they're gonna get excited. They're gonna think they found Sasquatch, but that's that's just a lack of education. Not education. That's not the right way to put it, but they're just not familiar with the outdoors and wildlife, and a lot of people that are just getting into Sasquatch. A lot of people ask me, I said, they ask me a few things, and I tell them, I say, study your known wildlife. You got to understand and know your own known wildlife before you try to go research something that's not classified. I mean, but yeah, get familiar with your known wildlife first. So, yeah, yeah.
That's one of the things I do at like our lectures. Like I haven't done it this year, but like what I like to do is I'll print out like track prints from the ODNR here, and I like to leave them out so people can grab them so they know they're looking at too. And it does include bear on it, even though like there's no bear on like southern. So.
All right. Yeah. Ray. Yeah. Like I said, I've been hearing you. I know some people are still reporting that they're having trouble hearing you, but yeah, when you talk, I don't know if you could kind of speak a little closer to the your microphone, wherever that is. But
is this any better?
Yeah, when you talk close, we could hear you pretty good. It just like before it was kind of going in and out. So.
All right. Well, I'll try to do.
Yeah.
You want me to do like a beatbox beat? Make sure everything's okay.
We hear you pretty well. So. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm using a really bad headset thing. So.
Oh, it's all right. Cheryl, you got what do you got else for us here? We can get jump into.
Well, I'm thinking then.
Well,
Well,
I thought you had all these written down.
Well, half and half.
Oh, she's echoing.
Yeah, I know. What's up with that?
All right, I'll make it simple. Okay.
Wait a minute. Did you take your microphone out? Your headset off? What?
No.
You sound like an echo.
Oh, that freaking one.
Lame Glenn.
Wow, if he has to have my spot on the table with me with his computer, what do you expect?
Kathy's there, ain't she?
Huh?
Kathy's there, ain't she?
No.
No.
No, she's.
I have over a kid, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw Katrina there.
4 minutes.
How tall does the female Sasquatches get?
Fred, this is for you.
Okay,
Anyone
what?
else?
What?
She was asking how tall does a female Sasquatch get?
All the ones I've seen was between 6.5 and 7.5 foot tall. All the ones that I've seen.
Now, what about the juvenile? Well, of course, they're babies. Duh. Come on. I just answered my question. You know what
I
I'm
got a
gonna
question
leave?
for Ray. Huh?
Okay. Go ahead, Fred.
Hold on, someone's calling for me. Hold on, who's that?
It's Ray.
Oh yeah, yeah, I hear you.
Okay, I just wanted to chime in with her. Around here, we actually do have a theory on size here in Ohio. We call them grassman a lot down here.
Right.
Well, I should say up here, but the typical tracks that we believe are females are usually about 14.5 inches to 15 inch, and we think that they're somewhere between 6.5 foot to 7 foot tall. And we have some very large males in this area, though. I mean, our males, like the one that I actually saw, like he easily clocked at 8.5. I mean, he was very big, and there's reports of him being up to 11, like Brett said. So I think those are like the males. It's maybe some of the alpha kind of things. So if that helps any.
I couldn't understand the word he was saying.
I
I
want to
got
say I
bit
believe.
into pieces.
Yeah.
All right, because another thing about the females I've noticed that they're, and Daniel said too, the female
You couldn't hear me very
heels
well.
are the female's heels are narrower than the male's heel. A male's got a wide heel, and a female's got a narrow heel.
So they're more aggressive than the male?
So is a female more aggressive than a male?
Yeah.
I think
No,
that
not
depends.
really. Yeah, exactly. Daniel said it depends. If you're trying to hurt the babies, yeah, a
Well,
mother of
yeah, of
scorn
course.
is what I'm saying. Yeah, she can get very aggressive. I've had my head burned up twice in one area because I got too close to the clan and didn't know it. On one side of the ridge, they burned the right side of my head. On the other side of the ridge, they burned the left side of my head. And when I got on the other side, the second time I got burned, they hit me so hard that I had tears. You can see on the video my face changing. I had tears coming out of my eyes. It hurt so bad. I had to stop and back out.
Mhm.
It's it doesn't happen anymore, but it did that day. I took Daniel up in there. Daniel got a tingle or something on one side of his head one day, and everything.
Yeah.
But they just they'll let me know like, hey, you're too close. Now it's to the point when I go in, it's automatically they follow me. Now, Ray, I got a question for you. Is he still on?
No, he actually jumped off. He said, hold on. He actually messaged me on the. He said,
Ask,
hey. He said, hey, this connection is terrible, man. I'm so sorry.
yeah. Hey, ask him. Has he ever smelt anything when the squatches are around? What kind of smell did he get?
All right. I think he might still be watching. I don't know if he jumped off here because of his connection. That might explain his audio difficulties because I know we all were hearing it. Our viewers were having trouble hearing him too because I was getting messages earlier. Um, so if he jumps back on, we'll maybe ask. I'm not sure what's going on. Um, it's actually got quiet. So what else you got, Cheryl? I love your questions, by
Oh,
the
oh yeah.
way. Well,
I
maybe to
know
be
one
fair,
gift in Ohio.
do what?
A hairbrush and lipstick. That's what I'm leaving for a gift.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a little bit of break from your questions. How about Glenn or Carrie or Sam or Fred? You guys have anything to share or ask or anything or that you guys might want to bring up?
Well, I wanted to ask Ray if he's ever smelt anything when he was out
I
squatching in
just
his area.
wish that more
Oh,
people would get into the woods and know their surroundings before. I've noticed a lot of people like to make assumptions that that don't go into the woods or rarely have been in the woods. And I wish more people would get into the woods and get off their phones and off their tablets and iPads and
Yeah.
just get out there and experience nature. And
yeah.
that's just my thing, man. I think we need some serious research in my area too, because I don't have near the expertise or the abilities to do it like you guys do, and I think that it warrants a good research. I don't know of any that's ever been done in the actual High Knob area, but I think that you know, that we need to get some people down here and check it out.
Yeah. Now me,
Yeah.
all I use is a camcorder. That's all I use. Now Daniel, Daniel's got some good stuff. He ain't got much, but he's got enough to get by on, and everything. But all
Oh,
I
yeah. Go ahead. I'm looking at some pictures that Ray's sharing on in the
yeah
chat group.
yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
just
me
looked
too.
at them.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, share.
Have patience. Have patience. I'm getting to it. And he's coming back in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right.
Wow.
Because what he's sharing, I mean, I've seen it in my area, and I've seen it in
I like
Daniel's area.
the hair is interesting. Very interesting there.
Oh,
Yeah. He's back in here, so I'm gonna get on here and I'm gonna
Sam,
share this.
I'm
Sam,
hoping you guys can hear me.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
If it
Sam,
gets terrible, just let me know.
Where do you see the hair I got? Ah. Ray, have you ever smelt anything?
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of people always hear them say, "Oh, it smells just like sulfury or something," and to me, it's what we've smelled is more of like a. It does have a decay smell to it, but it smells like something rotten, like a rotten carcass. But it also smells like a rotten, like a compost heap more than sulfur. We've
Yeah, yeah, be, yeah, because back in 13 when I filmed that when I videoed that family group, I got the smell of it was urine, feces, and I don't know what else, but it burned my eyes, burned my nose, and burned my throat. Now after that, really didn't smell anything more until I started in the apple orchard, and then I knew when the juveniles were around because I kept smelling vanilla. Every time I smelled vanilla, they was around me. Now I don't know if that's a curiosity sense that they use. Now that is a nice picture.
Yeah. Now, what could you tell us about this, Ray? I mean, I see it's a trail cam picture. I know you were talking about this earlier. I see the long hair here.
Daniel, that's the same color hair I first collected off that power line pole. The ones in my photographs, in my
Right.
photos, that's the exact same color hair. Except mine were curly.
Hmm. Hey, Ray, are you there? All right. I don't know where he went. Maybe he's lost connection or something again.
Alright, it was 82 degrees when that picture was taken. So it was in the summertime.
Hmm.
Look at the corn. It was in the corn. It was next to a cornfield.
Very cool.
Yeah, that is not a bear. Bear does not have hair that long. And the squatch hairs that I got look exactly like that photograph right there,
Right.
except mine are curly.
All right. I'm gonna go back out and see if I could get one of the other pictures he shared here. Um, let's see. He's got several pictures here. There's one that's showing a handprint.
Yeah.
Here's some that's got Dan Baker in it.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Hey Sam. Hey Sam. I don't think you can hear me. Hey Sam.
He's typing or something. I don't know. His audio must be off.
Oh wait a minute. Let's see what happened here. That's bigger than my footprint.
That's Dan Baker. I remember him talking about this one. I believe it's his 18-inch track. Yeah, because that's Dan Baker
Oh,
himself right there.
dude, that's a
Wow.
monster. Jeez.
And this is in Ohio, everyone. So where we're going in June.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice. Cool.
absolutely.
That's freaking huge.
Oh, let me see something here.
Danielle, did you try to say something to me, sir?
Yeah.
Fred was trying to reach you.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Hey.
I had to get up for a minute.
Oh, okay.
Take
Hey,
a
you
short
got.
break.
Hey,
Excuse myself for a second.
Oh,
I
you're fine.
apologize.
Hey,
What's up, Ray?
no, it's Freddie.
Yeah,
Sam.
go ahead, Fred. Yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
Fred. He's listening.
Yeah. Hey, take down my YouTube channel.
I can't hear him, Danielle.
Oh,
Daniel, I can't hear him, Daniel.
yeah. What were you telling him, Fred? He can't hear you. I think he can hear me though.
Give him
Yeah, I can hear you perfect.
give him my YouTube channel, Freddie59100. And tell him
Alright.
to check out them videos I got if he wants to see something.
Alright, did you hear that, Sam?
No, sir.
Alright, he's telling me to tell you to check out his YouTube channel.
Okay.
It's called the name of his YouTube channel is Freddie59100.
It's FREDDIE
Okay.
59100.
Yeah. Alright. But then that's weird that you guys ain't hearing each other though.
No, I can't hear him at all.
That's weird because I could hear the both of you guys.
I can hear him, but I can't. But he can't hear me.
Is anyone else having trouble hearing anybody?
I hear everybody fine.
Yeah, same here.
I keep
Oh,
getting,
Ray's back, but he said he got booted out. Sometimes it's the network problem. It's happened to me a lot in the past. Yeah, sometimes if the network is having issues, yeah, you'll lose connection on the podcast, but you just have to keep jumping back in. So.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
But I got a chance to share some photos with you guys. So
Yeah, we were.
That was
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I shared a couple of them. I shared the one about the hair. In a trail camera. Could you tell us anything about that one? I don't know if you said anything that because I think you jumped off or something.
I was out of Huron, Ohio. Like it was just a farmer. Like I said, he was watching his food plot with deer, and it's about 5.5 foot up, and that's what he caught on that. And we don't have bear in that area at all. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm running through my head what it could have been, and I even thought of like a horse at first, but it's not. It really doesn't match. And the weird thing is, it was accompanied by a track, and the hair is, you know, pretty much what we hear around here. Same basic coloration between, you know, it goes from black to like an auburn brown kind of color, and just the length of it is what that really fascinates me because it's so bizarre. You know, to be that high off the ground. You know, that's what got me.
Huh. Now, just curious, in that specific area, 'cause we noticed there was a field, there was corn there. Is there any kind of fence around there in that area right there that might like produce, that might produce a snagged hair or anything?
Well, unfortunately, this report was just put up from April of 2015, and I wasn't anywhere involved with it. I wish I would have been. You know, like I kind of got it secondhand. But
Okay.
the place that it's at, though, there is no fencing. He doesn't have any kind of cattle or anything like that, and he's just a hunter pretty much. That was, like I said, watching the deer food plot. Now, the one thing I can tell you that it was funny to me there is that there is two areas that make almost like a natural blind. And he has a feeling that whatever it was, you know, which he's convinced it was squatch, and I'm getting there myself. He believes that it was checking out the camera because it was pointed towards one of the areas that they might have used as a line to go hunting. So he thinks it went to look at it, didn't know what it was at first, and who knows at that point, you know. I'm always skeptic of, you know, catching a squatch on a game trail camera in general, especially at night, but during the day, I mean, it could be a younger one or, you know, a young female or something. I don't know. I mean, the picture is pretty independent, but it is interesting.
Absolutely. I have two trail cameras out right now. It's the only two I own as of now. Tomorrow's going to be a different story when I go out tomorrow. But but my trail cameras, the location they're in, there has been people that gone in there, but this specific location is the only time people go in there is if they're hunting, and maybe give or take an occasional camper. But this one specific area, my research area, it's very deep into the woods. It's like a kind of a private hidden mountain dirt road that goes around this windy little ridge, and there is a gate to the entrance. Which last time I was up there and I set my trail cameras up there, I had my backpack on. I had to park my vehicle down by the gate because the gate was closed. So I had to walk all the way in there, and I worked my way in there. I spent a good time in there because it was a good 3 mile hike all the way uphill, and I had a lot of weight in my backpack, so I got to work out that day. But besides that, I was able to get my trail camera set up, and now where I have my trail camera set up at is where I made a few. I didn't make a few. I made was it just one? And now, but the thing is, there was multiple tracks. I've actually shared this a little while back. Um, the track that I found, I found two noticeable ones, but facing different directions. There were smaller tracks, which indicated more of a population there, possibly juveniles. And um, one of the things I noticed, well, I had a couple things that happened to me in there too, but as far as before I found the tracks, no, excuse me, I'm getting that twisted. After finding the tracks, no, when after I was, I took a couple pictures, looked around, observed real good where I was parked at because I couldn't drive. This is back when I was able to drive up to the location, but still, you have to park at a location once you get there and walk in. So after walking all the way in, finding what I did, I was determined to make a cast, but of course I didn't have my material with me because I didn't know what I was going to come across. I didn't know if I was going to find anything. Most of the way in there, I was actually feeling really disappointed. I wasn't finding no signs of nothing, just deer tracks, maybe a couple small boot tracks. Well, after finding what I did, I went out and went back to my Blazer, and I got my material, worked my way back in. And of course, before I got to the area, I had a couple, things happen. I had a sharp whistle to my right, which I don't know, depends who you ask. That could be just a bird, but it was a type of sharp whistle that was a little piercing that kind of caught my attention. But I kind of more or less blew it off, and kept walking up to my location where I was gonna make my cast. Well, but when I got to that location, I had a tree knock over on the other side of that, that roadway that went into the woods there. So I figured maybe I was being watched. But to make a long story short, I'm actually getting about the cast and trail cameras and everything. By the way, the track was about 16 inches long, and it was actually fairly wide. It was about 5-6 inches wide. And let's see, it was about 5 or 6 inches wide around the heel, and probably about 6.5 to 7 inches at the ball of the foot. Now, in this specific location is where I got my trail camera set up, and they've been up there for a little over 2 months now. And well, I want to go up there next month and actually check them out, which I'm really hoping I pick something up on them. I mean, I'll probably get deer most definitely. I know there's some bear in there. I've seen bear tracks in there as well. So, but
Well, I'm gonna give you a little food for thought. This is one of the things I do when I do the lectures with Dan Baker, and this is like one of my field things on it. What kind of cameras are you using? Does it use an IR trigger?
One does. I do have one. It's basically what you just shared. It's a Moultrie D5 model. That's my other one. Now my other one, it's made by Browning. It's the Black Ops model. It's a 70-foot range with an invisible flash. It don't have no flash on it.
Because the reason I bring it up is everyone I'm sure is familiar with the Jacobson photo. Everybody know what that is.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually am fairly convinced that is a Squatch, and I actually think that was a younger one by the size comparison. A lot of people argue and debate it, and I just let it go anymore. I don't get focused on that. But the point to it is, I think you have a very good chance of catching any kind of juvenile that's coming through there that hasn't been educated. Now, that being said, I think you're going to have a hard time, anyone will, if it's an IR trigger. And the reason I say that is one of the things that, because you were talking about primates, and I love primate stuff myself. But there was just a new study done the middle of last year in, I want to say June of 2015. they showed that there's a lot more that they didn't realize about primates. That they actually have some of them actually have what's called a trichromatic eye. And the
Mm-hmm.
trichromatic eye allows them to actually tell what food is ripe. At it, it appears a blue tinge to them because what they do is they get UV and some IR light.
All
So
right.
when
Hey,
they
I
look,
gotta
go ahead.
I gotta interrupt you real quick. You're like I'm hearing you pretty good, but yeah, when it drops down real low and when it drops low, I'm hearing a lot of heavy static.
Okay, is this any better?
It's kind of the same. I mean, I really like what you're saying because it's actually educational to me. So,
Like I said,
um,
unfortunately, I got a bad connection. So.
oh, it's all right. I know you're. Yeah, it's all right. I know the situation you're having out there, the weather and everything. But go ahead, try to finish what you were saying. I'm gonna try to listen, and I believe our viewers, everybody, understands the situation. It's just so.
Well, that's just it, and this is what like. I'll try to be brief. What it is the trichromatic eye does allow to see UV and IR light, and they're finding out more and more that there's a lot of more primates than they thought that actually can see that. So I
Right.
tell people all the time when I said, like, oh, we have IR camera traps set up all over the place. I'm like, well, if it has an IR trigger, which is actually the beam that comes out that's invisible to us, and it covers a wide field of view, and when it breaks the view, the camera fires. Well, it would be the equivalent of you walking into your house in the middle of the night and there's a big blue light shining through the middle of your living room. You're not going to go near it because you know it's not supposed to be there. And that's
Right.
actually, I think, why there has not been a lot of real good game trail cameras. And I think the ones that have caught pictures, and I think the ones that have been somewhat caught on picture is simply because they don't know any better, you know. And I
Right.
think it's just like anyone, especially younger people, like a juvie would be interested in something, they get into trouble, they go investigate. I think a lot
Yeah.
of the adults are trained and they know not to go near it just because they don't know what it is. But that's
Yeah.
actually one of the theories I talk about a lot. So.
Oh yeah, I mean I understand what you said, and it makes a lot of sense too. It really does. Um, I'm actually having to look at the live chat. I'm gonna read off a couple things here that have mentioned. Hold on, where to go? Johnny Bigfoot. You from YouTube here. It states he's mentioned there's an article on the Bigfoot Research News proving Jacob's creature is a bear. It's one comment he states. There's another thing that says the bluff. I don't know if he meant to say creek, but it says creep. I think he meant to say creek. The Bluff Creek Project got exact same photos of bears. Then the last thing he says is the infrared only goes off with a flash, though, right? That's maybe he's kind of asking that question. So
No,
actually,
there's
yeah,
actually a. Okay, well, the Jacobson thing, it's like I said, it's been debated forever. I've actually, the reason because I have seen bears in the Wolf Mange myself, like down in Pennsylvania. And I've never seen one that looked quite like that. And I think they'll just I'm not a bear expert by any have them here, but I think that it's just a picture. Like if you really look at it, I'll go out on a limb and say, hey, maybe I'm not gonna argue. It's not a big deal. There's people. The Patterson film is fake, So. It's just like I said. There's always different views. If you go, I mean, how many people have you heard say things like that? So I don't know. But
right.
I can say about the IR light, the IR, what you is the flash. It goes off and it's just a flash of IR light. But people don't realize is there is a lot of trigger systems that actually are on the bottom of it. Like it's not a motion sensor; it actually uses IR, and it actually shoots.
Yeah.
That's what I was referencing. I think if they can see that, they're not going to go near it. So.
Well, here's another one. This is on Facebook. Lael Pate's asking, don't a lot of cameras make a humming sound? Then they go on to say that we might not notice, but Bigfoot or animals might. Or was that a conversation they missed? No, we didn't bring that up, but that's a good question. Do you know anything about that, Ray? The sounds that a camera, like a trail camera. As far as I know, they don't make no noise. I know there is. I have noticed I have noticed it before that as far as sound, um, if you listen, I mean, very faintly, there is like a slight little, like I know on my Moultrie camera, I've heard it. You won't hear nothing or see nothing off my Browning Black Ops trail camera. But if I'm not mistaken, yeah, because I think I have heard like a slight faint click from the trigger of the camera. Now, do you know anything else about this, or is there anything you can state on that?
Yeah, it literally just depends on what camera you're buying. I mean, it doesn't sound weird, but it's just like anything. If you use a, like you go to Walmart and buy a $35 camera, there's obviously going to be some things different than when you buy, like you said, like the Browning special. I mean, it's going to be. I mean, there's a whole lot. Like, there's actually a lot of them that even switch from the IR triggers.
Yeah.
That's why those are the ones I recommend a lot. Because I have a feeling with the people like the one that you have, you might actually be able to catch something with it. Because I think there could be a parts there.
Yeah.
The only other, I mean, it's like, not being weird, but it's like buying anything, I guess. It's like you get what you pay for.
Oh yeah. Because actually, I almost went and did it today, but I didn't have much time. Because after I got home from work, I had some running around to do. So for what I wanted to do today, I was like, well, I'll have more time to do it tomorrow. But little by little, I actually been working on building inventory up as far as gear wise. There's a lot I'm actually trying to get ready for the 2016 year. I mean, there's a lot I'm trying to work on, not just with gear, but we got events coming up. There's one thing that we're working on, and I can share a lot more information. A lot of people are aware of it, that we're actually doing an independent documentary film. It's actually going to start off in my general research area. Part of it will be taking place in where I have my trail camera set up at. Fred Canny, Tracy Arnold. We have Greg Corbin from Virginia Beach. He's our production. I pretty much left him in charge of the production crew management. He's got all the equipment, and then he's going to be able to work up the software. I mean, to put the film together. Now Tracy Arnold, he may not be able to make it up here, so he's going to be working on some stuff down in his area, and he's going to share the footage with us where we could add it into the documentary. So this is what we plan on hopefully producing some good evidence. On top of that, we're gonna have there's a skeptic involved, and here's a gentleman. Kind of give you a little insight on the skeptic. Now, he's not going to deny the fact that there is a Bigfoot existing, but he's not going to say he believes in it either. He states to me, he said this more than once, that he states that he believes there is something out there. Now he knows the woods and nature very well. He's actually, a lot of stuff I presented to him, he's actually kind of brought up other scenarios and other good points that kind of make sense. But some of the things he's brought up to try to debunk some of the stuff I shared with him, I was able to speak up on some situations and some of my findings. I could tell him no. I said this ain't what it was. It's like a lot of stuff when people try to debunk something, you got to actually be there, physically be there to see what the other person, what someone's trying to see. For example, I can share photos all the time on Facebook of the stuff I see. You guys might see it in one way, especially if I show a picture of a track that I found in the leaves, on the ground. In person, you can clearly see the whole outline of the foot, the size, and everything with good details. But I notice in a lot of my pictures, when I post them, or even taking it, after I take it, I look at it on my device, and man, you can't really make this out, but you can see it right there, in person. It's kind of disappointing on my part, but hoping that other people might see what I'm trying to show them. But I do get some good, clear tracks that I can share with, because a lot of my casts I have do display toes, and I will only make a cast if there's enough definition and detail. Because a lot of tracks, a lot of people see impressions and stuff. I mean, they could be old weather boot tracks, as far as we know. So unless it's showing toes, I won't bother with the detail or trying to get evidence of it or collect it. But I think with the skeptic involved in what we're doing, we hope it might be able to shed some light and actually maybe get some people to start thinking otherwise, because the subject of Bigfoot, as we all know, is very heavily ridiculed and mocked, and doesn't matter who it is, even mainstream science and some higher ups, educated individuals will mock the situation. But I've dealt with enough of it, and I stand my ground. I love dealing with skeptics. I love hearing why they don't believe. I mean, I've heard uh, people try to use science to say that they don't believe, and so some things I read what they have to say, but when it comes to that, I let it go in one ear and out the other, because you can't tell me that they don't exist, because it's for those who believe is one thing, but for us who actually know, you can't tell us any otherwise. And for those who actually have physically seen them, you can't call them a liar because you don't know them unless you know them having a reputation as being a liar. There's some that we do know in the Bigfoot community um, who
Hope he
actually
don't.
have that reputation. Huh?
Hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't pop in.
Oh, oh, it's funny. You know who I'm talking about. Well, actually, I was
Oh,
gonna
you better believe I do.
I was leading up to him because there was a. It's funny because
Last night, did you
I
did
didn't
you
see
see
it
that
because I
show
don't
last night?
know because I don't have that channel. I don't have the stupid destination channel, and I'm pissed off
Well,
because
I'll tell you. All right.
that's all the shows that come on for Bigfoot stuff.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Here's what it said. It
Hey, I
says
wanted
first
to
step.
throw something in here right quick, Daniel.
Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
The somebody was asking one of the viewers about the cameras.
Yeah,
So one of the things that I've heard about is a possible infrasound that Bigfoot gives off,
right.
and
Um,
could it be that they sense cameras and things that we might not be able to sense ourselves? Cause of infrasound.
well, infrasound could affect. I mean, it affects animals as other animals as well. Whatever animals produce the infrasound, it does affect other animals in various ways. I mean, apparently there's been a number of reports that people while out in the field, it affects them in various ways, anywhere from well, what I will say the word zap, because a lot of people say, well, Fred could kind of more or less speak on this, but it could be anywhere from a headache,
Yeah.
pressure,
Yeah.
intimidate, like feeling. You ever get, like, for example, that feeling of like you're in the woods alone, and all of a sudden something comes over you from out of nowhere. You feel that alertness, almost like that intimidation of fright or scared, and the back of your hair starts standing up. You're not seeing nothing, but you get like that. You get that eerie feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's something around there that's giving off that electricity and that feeling. So I believe that there itself is a type of infrasound given off from a possible predator or another larger subject that's in the area. But
I've got some
there's no proof of
um
that though. But I'm just stating that's the possibility.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I have a Paul Halsley sent it to me off that video from 13 when I saw the family group of ultrasound or infrared.
Yeah.
I was saying, where y'all at? And he picked up, we're here, and I said, where y'all at? Or no, I said, y'all y'all stole my jars, and he picked up, uh huh. And when I said, where y'all at? He picked up, we are here. I never heard that before, but he picked it up when he said it was ultrasound.
Yeah.
That when I asked those two questions, I got two answers, and he sent me the recording, and I said I never heard. They said he's got some piece of equipment that can intensify the area of your in your video, and he picked that up. I don't know how he
Yeah.
did it, but he did it.
Yeah. There
I
is
think I still have
technology. Yeah, there is technology and devices that actually it's high tech stuff. There is devices that do read and pick up infrasound, as well as other types of forms of what I'll call electricity. Um, Now, as far as the infrasound, one of the known animals in the animal kingdom that will give off infrasound, mountain lions, and various lions, panthers, cougars, etc. A lot of these are actually animals that what they do. They use infrasound actually to stun their prey. Um, Pretty much, it'll actually use what it does. It makes, like, for example, a mountain lion to a deer. Of course, they're pretty stealthy animals to begin with, where they could pretty much sneak up on their prey. But basically, they'll freeze the animal, their prey in their tracks, allowing the time to make its attack. So yeah, lions, mountain lions, lions. Period. It's a natural technique that they have, the skill that they have, that they do this with. So it's one known animal that there's other animals too, but it's infrasound is used in various ways with different animals. Um, Elephants, whales, dolphins. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, I can't get into the complete details. Give you proper explanations of these. A lot of this information actually can be found online. Um, so, but yeah, trail cameras. I don't know. There's been a lot of I've heard a lot of different posts, and I've read a lot. I mean, I read a lot of different posts and people's opinions and theories on the whole. Could Bigfoot see or hear them? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, there's no proof of it, so but it could go either way though. That's how I feel about it. Um,
All right, Sam.
I see we lost Sam.
Yeah, he had to go pick up his son
Oh, okay.
and everything. He
All
didn't
right.
want to interrupt and everything.
Yeah. Well, what was I gonna say? Hold on. Let's see. Cheryl, did you have anything else to bring up or you want to mention? She's muted right now. She's unmuting herself.
Yeah. How do you like Fred?
It's a cutie. Is that more squash bait you're bringing down to Ohio?
No.
Yes.
What do you think about Fred?
Bait.
I don't know if Fred can hear. Fred, can you hear her?
What's your dog named Fred?
Yeah.
No.
Isn't he cute?
Yeah, he's real cute. Yeah, he's real cute.
I got Daniel in there too.
Oh Lord.
He's the tiniest one of the bunch.
You know where Daniel goes? He goes back in so far that most people never come back out.
Yeah. Yeah, I go pretty deep, Carrie. You can tell your sister that too.
Yes.
I would make a comment, but I ain't
Go
gonna say
ahead,
it.
Fred. Go ahead.
No, Fred, behave yourself, Fred.
No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it because it'll embarrass him, and I'm not gonna say nothing.
Lord have
I'll
mercy.
keep
Who
it
knows
like
what? I got to get into another thing here. We're getting off subject.
That's your fault.
Yeah, I know. Well, anyway, Fred, are you familiar with? All right, when I was talking about known hoaxers and stuff, who I had him in mind. I was thinking about that when I was kind of going through my discussion, my explanation.
Yeah, I was gonna say last night when that show come on, he was the first one up there, and they said, and there's one thing about him, he's a chronic liar.
Right. Well, there's there's this guy. I was watching something on YouTube. All right, and they actually went through some of his. It was a gentleman he was actually pretty much backing him up. He was actually kind of defending Rick Dyer, and it showed clippings that where it showed him running with his gun, approaching, going after this
Yeah,
alleged Sasquatch.
and it also showed where the cameraman got mowed over by that so-called Hank.
Yep, I seen that, and well, the one subject, was supposedly came up and hit the guy, supposedly using the palm of his hand. Well, when that happened, it actually showed another subject right behind it. So.
Yep, exactly.
So
Ron, is that the show we were watching last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, but see,
to give him one.
Yeah, what I was seeing on YouTube, I mean, I don't know. I was trying to make sense of it because I mean, this guy was definitely trying to defend Rick Dyer, and I mean, I don't understand. And this is a recent video. Now,
you talking about Tom Biscardi?
No, this was I can't remember the guy's name who was speaking. He was pretty much hosting the video, explaining in Rick Dyer's defense. But the one who was doing the filming, now, this guy that was doing the filming of all this is actually a film producer himself. So now that there kind of raises a red flag. But when he said, well, the gentleman's name, he actually hold on, let me see. I think I wrote his name down here. Hold on. I'm looking on my papers here.
Yeah, the guy who was filming was from over in England.
His name is Morgan Matthews.
Yeah, he kept saying, Rick, don't shoot, please don't shoot.
Yeah, yeah.
Rick was in his underwear running through the woods.
Yeah, with his rifle in his hand. Yeah.
Yeah, and the flashlight.
I mean, and then this guy who was hosting the show was saying, well, film producer and director Morgan Matthews, has nothing to gain by being part of a hoax. So if he was a hoaxer, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if the film director was a hoaxer himself, I don't know. Perhaps Rick Dyer paid him, So, but
yeah, those plus they also had the one where the Bigfoot in the freezer. They told in detail how they made that costume up in the freezer.
Right.
They used roadkill from possums.
Yeah. On the live chat, well, there's a couple new things up here, but Johnny Bigfoot says, hi, Freddie.
Hello.
Okay, in one of his earlier statement, he says, I don't have any trail cameras out, but I'm thinking about buying some. Okay, any cheap ones you can recommend? I'll tell you a real good one, and it's very reasonable. You can find them at Walmart. They also have the Wild Game Innovations, but my cheap one that I have is the Moultrie D5. You have the DA models. I definitely recommend them if you're looking for something, cheap but works well. If you don't mind spending a couple $100s, I'll tell you a really good one to get. Browning has, they have a few different ones. I have the Browning Black Ops. It's actually $178, but if you go on Amazon and do your research, you'll find them a lot cheaper on Amazon for the same name brand. That's where I do a lot of. Huh?
What do you think? What do you think about the Leopold game cameras?
I've heard of them. I'm not too familiar with them, to be honest with you.
Well, Dominion's got them, and they're up there. Actually, they cost more than the ones that you're getting. The Moultrie. Yeah. Now they got one at Dominion. It fits in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, that's like my Browning. The Browning Black Ops, and they have Night. I can't remember the name of the other ones, but I like my Black Ops Browning trail camera because because this one here fits in your hand. I mean, it's a small device. It has a 70-foot range. And also you can set. It has multiple settings. You can set multiple rapid fire shots. You can do. It has high definition video, and mine also records with audio. And I'll tell you another thing, a good thing about not just audio. If it hears something close enough before it sees something, it'll start recording before it sees it. If it hears something, it'll start recording, which is awesome. I didn't know that until I think the first time I actually ever really tried it out was up on the ridge there behind camp there in your area, Fred. After I was viewing footage from it, I was viewing the the SD card on my laptop here, and it started playing. I said, "Well, okay, I don't see nothing," but then I started hearing something. You can hear the footsteps getting closer and closer. Next, you know, I got a deer going by,
Oh, that's
and
wild.
then and then later, about a couple hours later, I'm hearing footsteps again. And I said, "Wow, you could actually really hear something coming along." And it was a hunter walking by. This was probably around 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So, but that's what I'm impressed about on this one.
At night, 9:32. Oh, during bear hunting, during bear season.
Yeah, it had been because it was. This was. I don't know. I can't remember. I want to say it was between October and November.
Yeah,
think.
yeah. They're running dogs. Yeah, they got guys who are in the trucks, and they got guys who are walking kids to keep
Yeah.
up with the dogs. Yeah.
So, see, Ray Peck says something on here too. I guess it regards what we were talking about earlier. I'm going to read exactly how he says it here. If these animals have really good smell, think about the smells that would be on the camera. The material it's made of, and your smells from handling. That's actually a good point. I never really thought about that, Steve. That's something
Taking,
actually to keep in mind.
yeah, taking. If you want to get rid of the human smell, believe it or not,
How about some scent
use
blocker?
no, use rubbing alcohol.
Really? That won't give off
Take
a
no,
smell?
no, because that's what they use in hospitals. It
Well, yeah.
decontaminates it and takes it and gets and the smell dissipates, and there's no
Okay.
smell.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You should try that, Daniel.
Yeah. Cheryl, what's your question? I see you got another one. You text me here.
Okay, this is pretty interesting.
Oh my. Okay, let's hear it.
It's a good one.
Okay, I'm all ears. We're all ears.
All right. Now, how about how they like like do they like swampy areas, or they like all wooded areas, or what?
All right. Repeat that again now.
Sorry.
Hey, Cheryl. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. Repeat that again,
couple
Cheryl.
more people. Do they, when they pick a place to stay for a while, or they stay permanently, would they pick a swampy area sometimes, or a dry land area?
Well, I'll speak on my what I know of, and then I know Fred could speak a lot on this because he knows
Well,
his
I'm
area very well.
curious.
Well, I'll tell you what. Well, Fred, you know the area right across from where I camp in my area, right?
Yeah,
Well,
his area, it kind of looks like back in the prehistoric times. You know, you got that tall green grass. It's mossy, it's spongy, and then he's got regular wooded area. So he's got both around
yeah,
like his camp is around like Elkhorn Lake. So it's hard and mushy. It's hard dirt in places, and it's swampy and mossy in a lot of places. And it looks
yeah. You
like
got a
you're on
lot of
back.
yeah. There's a lot of
Go ahead.
wetlands in there. You got a lot of yeah, like what Fred was saying. A lot of there is areas in there that are very marshy. You got a lot of creeks and streams. You got the river that runs through there,
Yeah,
leading to the lake itself.
yeah, because
So they,
me and yeah, because we found a juvenile track about 6.5 inches long, and it sank about a quarter of an inch in the ground. We found the second footprint about 20 feet away. It was a left
And
foot, then a right foot.
and
That's
on
how
top
far.
of that,
Yeah,
yeah, on top of that, from all since I've been kind of working and studying that area, from observations, the encounters, and all the activity we've all received from that area, and I alone, this tells me that this is the area they definitely inhabit. This is the area where they stay in. Now, a lot of the area where they inhabit right there, you got the mountain and the ridge right behind all this area, and they come down they come down from off that mountain. Um, Now that mountain depends on which way you work your way up there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've gotten I didn't get to the very top of it, but I've gotten up to another high ridge that was very close to the top of it, and uh,
I got to the
the
top of it.
the area blew my mind. I know I was in a different area where I was going up because something told me let's go ahead and try to work up here, and it was a pretty steep area. But when I got up to the top, oh man, it blew my mind. I mean, it was just the view for one thing is what we got. I mean, you get the other mountains, you had a good view of the whole area around you. But I started to see these impressions on the ground, and the funny thing is, I was kind of ignoring them. I was like, till all of a sudden I looked down. I was like, wait a minute, they really stood out. I was like, what the heck am I doing? There's like, I swear to you not, there were like 15, 16-inch tracks that were like I was bypassing them. I was noticing them, but it wasn't registering in my mind. I was like, okay, and that there told me, and this is up behind, right there up across from Camp Fred, up on the high ridge, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. When I finally realized what I was seeing, I measured it out. I was seeing 16-inch tracks in the leaves. These were leaves, and to be made and formed and impressed into the ground, that tells you what. Oh, that's telling you a couple things. It's the weight, and hey, these are not old. So I was like, man, this is awesome. And so, later on, I found some other structures because after coming to the top, it worked my way down, and I found a few things that were very interesting. Now, 5 miles away, where I got my trail cameras from 5 miles from this location, um, up on that high ridge there where my trail cameras are at right now, that's where I found those other 16-inch tracks. So I'm gathering, for one thing, being so far apart, either it's the same group or I believe there's two different sets of groups here that are inhabiting these high grounds. And this is where they spend a lot of their time, is where they're more elusive and more hidden. Because if you saw where I found these tracks, I mean, you'll understand why it's so easy for them to hide there. I mean, they're well protected up there. They're well hidden, and it's very unlikely that it's not often that you're gonna get people to hike up these areas.
Yeah.
So every now and then I get this urge just to go up there, especially if I got the time and I'm alone. I won't do it if my daughter's with me. But if I'm alone, I'll do it. I mean, because I don't feel comfortable. Like if I have my daughter with me, I feel limited. I feel kind of restricted. Especially because you don't know what you're gonna encounter. But so, but yeah, it's I think it all depends. Even on the other high ridges, you got the waters and stuff that they got their water sources, which are down below and around the ridges and stuff. I have been up on high ground where you got the creeks and the streams flowing down off the mountain, which come from the springs around there. But,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
like
but
and,
yeah. Go ahead, Fred.
yeah, and like my area, I have two reservoirs in my area. Plus, I have uh, two lakes too. And in my area, it looks like a regular woods, but I got an overabundant of laurel, of mountain laurel, and that's where they hide in during the day. Um, and they go high. And see, my area's got caves in it. We got one massive cave that I'm trying to get to, but I ain't, because of the weather, I ain't been able to get to it. But there's like 4 or 5 caves up in there, and I'm thinking that's where they hang out at. But in the summertime, they're down low, because I got a right there at my camp. I got a major stream coming down through. I got streams everywhere. The water's up this year, so they got plenty of water abundant. They got plenty of hickory nuts, what do they say, pig nuts, uh, wa- um, um, walnuts,
You said big
you know,
nuts.
stuff like that, Plus we got an abundance of deer, but they come down low at nighttime, and during the day, if you're there, they hang out low, and as the weather gets cold, they migrate to the top of the mountain or on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and they travel up and down the Blue Ridge, because the Blue Ridge Parkway is in my research area, and they can go from Augusta County into Nelson County, which is just across the road, and it's mountainous over there too. And God knows there's so many caves over in Nelson County. Like I say, we live in the Shenandoah Valley, but Shenandoah Valley is a gigantic, massive volcano that evolved about 10 million years ago, and that's what we live in. So we got a lot of limestone, we got a lot of caves and stuff. So there's a lot of places they can go that we haven't been able to get to or know of right now. So it depends on what area you're in. Like Daniel area, he's got everything. He's got the moss, he's got the sponginess, got he's got the hardwood, and I've got the hardwood. We got plenty of streams, we got reservoirs. It's a food thing that if it's a good food abundance, they will stay. Like they can go to the back of the reservoirs and wade in the water up to their knees and catch native trout or crawdads or anything like that. Elkhorn Lake, you got natives, you got trout, you got catfish, you got perch, bass. It's the same way in my area. So it's abundance of food, and they go to what should I say? It's like elk. They follow the food source, or coyotes and wolves. They follow the food source, and that's what squatches do. They follow the food source. If there's plenty of abundance of food in that area, they will stay in that area. If they're not, they will move on to another area. It's like if you ever notice certain years, you'll go in the woods and you can go in the woods for 5 minutes and kill your limited squirrels in 5 minutes. Then there are days you go in there and you don't see a squirrel for a month. What it is the food source is low and they move up to where the food source is plentiful. So that's what squatches do. They migrate to where they follow the food source. Like this past summer, I had squatches out of yin yang. Now, this summer, I might see one, I might see two, and that's about it. It all depends on how the food source is in our areas.
Yeah.
And the weather has a lot to do with it too. Like this year, hunt season was miserably warm. It would be 20 degrees in the morning, but by lunchtime it'd be 55, 60, and there's nothing, and they're not moving. It's just been too warm. Now if they would move hunting season up to now, it'd be perfect.
Oh yeah.
Because right now the bucks ever since it got cold, the bucks have been in rut and everything. But like I say, the squatches, they migrate and in other words, it's like motels. They have places that they stay at certain times of the year. Now Daniel's area is all mountains. He's got George Washington National Forest running right up against the West Virginia line, and then you got the West Virginia mountains. So he's got an abundance of everything coming through there. Now we're in the same national forest, but we're 20 others. I got the Blue Ridge Parkway. He's got the West Virginia mountains. His migrates between Virginia and West Virginia, and mine migrate up toward Maine or down toward North Carolina. They follow the food source and the climate each year. So that's how they determine if there's going to be any squatches in the area or not. Plus the safety factor. Are they going to be safe when they go to this area? If not, they're gonna avoid that area and find another spot. And that's how they do. Well, as far as in here in Virginia, but I don't know. Like up in Maine, they might be different. Or down in Florida with the skunk ape, they might be different. It all depends on what area you're in, and what state you're in, and what your position is. That's how you can really tell. and everything, you know. But that's close as I can come to it.
Yeah. You know, well, actually, I didn't realize, how long we've been running on the podcast tonight. We've actually had some pretty good conversations and discussions on various topics. I always find like the discussion about the trail cameras. I really find that interesting. There's a lot to consider, a lot to maybe keep in mind for certain possibilities.
Don't forget about this Sunday. Don't forget about this Sunday.
What's about Sunday?
We're having a after finding Bigfoot show, and we're also bringing back. We're also bringing back Real or Not Real.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Now, the after hours, the after hour podcast with Shane Bradbury, that starts at 11, right?
Right after.
I'll have to make sure Vicky's watching that.
It starts at 11.
Okay.
And sometimes it goes till 1. Last time we had one, we lasted till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Well, if it's Sunday night, I might be able to hang in there, stay on for an hour. I got work on Monday morning, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've been up almost 24 hours.
Well, you'll be all right. Yeah. You got to work in the morning?
No, they called me tonight and told me not to come in until 7.
Oh, okay. Well, see, you'll be all right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Before we get off here, I'm gonna actually end the podcast here shortly. Does anyone else have anything else they want to bring up or share before we jump off?
The only thing I wanted to say is about the
Can't hear you, hon.
He's freezing up.
Yeah.
So. Looks like everybody. What's up with that?
Yeah, all the herds froze up.
Yeah. It must be the internet at their house because they're all using this. They're all at the same house.
Yeah. I think one's outside.
Yeah. I think that's Carrie's son. Well, I don't know what's going on. There's a possibility we might have a show tomorrow night. Don't know yet. I'm gonna actually look into a couple things, and I don't know. It's something I have to think about. There's a couple things I wanted to look into. Maybe we could talk and discuss for maybe a half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. But it seems like we get in part one discussion will lead into another one, which is always interesting. How we get into stuff sometimes, but.
Glenn said he said it in the message board in the chat thing. You didn't read it, and I think mine's all gone.
Okay, everybody's gone but me, you, and.
All right, there's Glenn.
There's Glenn. Yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
All right, I didn't see it. I didn't see nothing pop up. Hold on, because I'm looking on my phone right now.
Now it's blank.
Hold on.
Google. In YouTube.
You made a comment in YouTube on the live chat.
Yeah.
Let me look here real quick. Hold on, because I usually see new notifications or new comments that pop up. Give me a second. Hold on. No, I don't see nothing from. I don't see nothing under here from Glenn.
Oh, who's talking?
Oh, it's Glenn, but I can't hear him.
He's talking. You don't have the microphone on. Great. Well, he's talking about the thumbs on, the picture of that dog and that other thing.
Yeah.
Well, he's talking about the thumbs where it's bent. It looks like a chimp. Like a chimp's.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of the impression I was kind of getting too. In a way, it looked very, yeah, like it looked very primate, like a chimp, or yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It was because like the way the cheek looks like the narrowed down, and you got the lips. Yeah, it was definitely. I guess you could say, yeah, almost monkey looking in a way too.
That's
But
what
yeah,
I said.
more of a chimp look. 'Cause if you noticed, did you notice like the ear that stuck out too?
Was
The
that
thing is, even in chimpanzees, huh?
the
Yeah, I was
squashes?
just gonna say even in
Yeah, the squashes that I seen, they had small ears.
yeah, yeah. I think like even a chimpanzee where they have some of them have big ears, but they don't stick
Yeah,
out like that. I mean,
yeah,
so I don't know. That was weird.
kind of like my
So
brother Teddy.
Now, how well is their hearing?
do what
Do they
now?
have very good hearing, you think?
Very,
Well, that's what.
very, very,
Yeah,
very good. Very
Like
good.
bionic
yeah.
ears.
If they don't hear you, they smell you.
I hear him.
Well, I tell you what, even though that one night when I shared about when I was at the camp there and I walked out to the road, it was what 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and I had my spotlight in my hand. Well, when I
Yeah,
walked out, like I said, I walked out to the middle of the road without no light on. But I didn't turn my light on until I got to the road, and then that's when I started looking in the woods and didn't see nothing. But that's when I heard a deer run off, and then over to my far right. I shouldn't say far right because it was actually very close. I'm estimating 20 feet inside the tree line there, from off the edge of the road. Even though I didn't see it, whatever it was, I'm going to tell you it was very massive. It was large. It was heavy because you could hear every step. Each footstep was very heavy, and as I said before, it was every step was a thump, a heavy thump, and a like you could hear whatever was stepping on cracking real hard, and it wasn't a
yeah.
fast walk like it was trying to run off, but it was a steady walk. Like okay, it was almost like kind of like that oh shit kind of feeling. Oh, like I gotta get out of here. There's someone there. It's like
Uh,
I kind of surprised them,
yeah.
like
Well, you
so.
probably
But
did.
knowing
He was
that he
probably watching that deer. He was watching that deer when you come around the corner.
and yeah, well, and that's kind
I'd
of like what I
freaking
was
run
thinking.
too.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty interesting that I kind of snuck up on something. It didn't realize I was there because I was, but apparently it
God
wasn't.
bless you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. It wasn't paying attention to me, so till I shined the light and spooked the hell out of it. So, but I believe it was a squatch, even though I didn't see it. I believe it was a squatch because, yeah, if you could understand and you could um, what's the word I'm trying to think of distinguish the sound of a bipedal subject, and steps. If you listen to these steps, it was definitely flat-footed, or whatever it was. So, but I'm gonna say it was a squatch because it was very heavy. There was no denying it was heavy. And what I heard, I know for a fact that it was not a bear either.
Yeah,
No, it was not a bear.
yeah,
So
'cause
they don't have arches in their feet like we do, or they're just flat foot.
Well, they walk and step with a flat foot. They have, how we have a ball of the foot close to the toes.
Yep.
Their ball is, they have more of an extended, theirs is more further back,
right. Yeah,
creating more of a flat step. That's
yeah.
what you call if you what especially Dr. Jeff Meldrum, if you observe his studies with the foot cast and stuff that he's analyzed, that's where the mid-tarsal break is indicated in their step. Like unlike ours we have more of a what's the right way to put it?
English.
What? What's that?
Oh, just
Um,
speak English.
oh,
Simplified for.
well,
Yeah.
our mid-tarsal break is our ball of a foot. Sasquatch's mid-tarsal break, their ball of the foot is more of a flat foot. Yes, they have a very small instep. Like for example, if you step in some water and step on a flat surface that leaves the imprint of your foot, look at the shape that you leave from your wet foot onto the ground. You'll see the heel and you'll see the ball of the foot and the toes. You'll also notice the dry spot in the middle. That's
Right.
that's the instep. That's the mid-tarsal break where it separates your instep from your ball of the foot.
Yeah,
So,
cause see, I got audio on one of my videos of a juvenile. I can tell it was a juvenile because you can hear it come down the ridge, and then when he starts slow down, you can hear crunch, crunch, and then crunch right there at the camera. And he took a stick
mm,
and tapped the camera. But I knew it was a juvenile by the footsteps, because they waited
right.
till I left the area, then they come sneaking in. And I've heard the big ones walk, and you'll hear crunch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, crunch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, crunch. That's the way I've heard them walk, you know.
Um, real
But they do
quick,
have a flat foot.
another name for mid-tarsal break or the instep of your foot is also. Thank you, Lael Pate. I don't know why I didn't think of this, but
They
Lael
don't
Pate
have.
says it's the arch of your foot. That's your instep. When I say instep or the mid-tarsal break, the center, the lowest spot in your foot, that's the arch of the foot. So thank you, Lael. That's I don't know why I wasn't thinking, but that should help simplify that. But
Yeah, they don't
I was
have
just
an
being a smart ass.
no, that's all right. I don't mind. I'm kind of getting used to that though, but so
I'm just
yeah,
making sure you knew.
I got you. I got you. I tell you what, guys. You know what I'm thinking about doing tomorrow night? Um,
arch.
maybe between all of us, if we could gather some photos. Um, some find the most recent. Either if it's either squatch alleged squatch pictures. Um, let's see, any bit of possible evidence. If you guys want to do some research and look around for try to find like Google the most recent ones, there's a lot of stuff that floats around on the internet, especially through Facebook. And if we can gather up some photos and we'll post them and share them in a chat group, we'll do a
Hey,
separate chat group just for possible
hey,
evidence, and we could screen share them and we could all discuss them. I think that'll be a fun discussion tomorrow night
yeah.
if you
Hey,
guys want to try to do
Daniel.
something like that. Yeah,
Hey, Daniel. I have a picture of an albino that I got in my area.
really.
I've
Yeah,
seen
I
that.
just don't know how to I don't know how to share it because I got an albino in one frame, and then the next frame he's gone,
All right.
and I don't know how to do it.
Your browser that you have Facebook. All right. You got Facebook opened up. All right. If you got that picture, click on. If you come back into the Hangouts here,
All right, all right,
um,
all right. Let me hit screen share.
yeah, hit screen share.
Okay.
You
All
have
right.
a window that opens up with a picture that you want to screen share, right?
Well, let me bring up the picture here. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Okay. You see what I'm pointing at?
No, we don't see nothing yet. You don't have a screen share yet. You got to click on. Once you click screen share, you got to click on the
Yeah.
image that appears. Click on it. It'll light up, and then go to start screen share.
All right. There we go. All right. Hit screen share. Let's see. Right here. Oh, share. Okay. That's as far as I can get. I can hit the picture twice. All right.
Wow.
All right.
Y'all see it?
Um.
Now down here at the bottom it says, on mine it says Google Hangouts is sharing your screen with hangoutgoogle.com.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
Now, if
I
you want
got
to
the whole
keep it up
picture.
to where it stays enlarged, at the top of your screen, it should say "Share with everyone" or "Present to everyone." That'll keep it up on the main screen, so everyone can see it all the time.
Let's see.
Wow.
Where's
Holy
the
cow! How did you get a
what?
picture of me on there, Fred?
What picture?
I
I
don't know.
hit
I
screen
look
share.
pretty good in that one. That must have been
Hey,
last summer.
hey, hey, what I did, I hit screen share, and I went over to my
Share.
photo
Right.
and clicked on it, and I clicked on it. What would I use? The left click or the right click?
Your right click.
Okay,
Is that the
let's see.
wrong page?
Share. It says
That's the
share
wrong
with.
page.
All right, it says open
Is that
this.
the wrong page, Fred?
Huh? Say what?
Is that the wrong page? Is that the wrong page, Fred? It's all nudes
Oh,
of ya.
Oh, Fred, they're talking about on the lower right-hand corner. I just now saw what they were talking about.
what are they talking? What are they talking about? I have no
Fred,
idea.
Fred, look at the image you're sharing.
I don't know what I'm sharing. I don't see nothing.
You're
That
showing a
page
picture.
the page you had opened up. Open it back up. Or are you still looking at
All
what you
right,
were trying to show us? You see the picture of the girl and her ass showing?
no, I
I
sent that
told
to
you
you
not to
last
share that
night.
picture.
I
Yeah.
sent that. I sent that to you last night. All right. I'm looking at share with, share with, home group. Nobody home group.
That's what Cheryl was talking about. She said she looked
I
good
have
last
no idea what you're talking about. I don't. What? Wait a minute here. Let me see what this is. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea.
Yeah.
We'll
Well,
keep it secret, Fred.
yeah, Fred. I'll tell you what. We can still continue to chat here. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the live broadcast.
I have
I
no
think
idea.
we've
I don't
won.
even see the picture. All I see is the people
Yeah.
I normally do in the black screen with you talking. That's all I see.
Well,
Oh Lord.
Daniel's hiding, so I'm hiding.
Okay. You know what? We're gonna end this. Hold on. Okay. Well, tomorrow night I'm gonna say around 9 o'clock, and we're gonna do a little photo analysis show. We're gonna share some photos. Feel free for you guys want to browse through. I want to try to find the most recent that's floating around, like what we did earlier with the dog and the alleged juvenile. I want to see what we could do. If you can share them to either me or Fred early enough in the day, I will actually get on. I'll get on and see if it's not clear enough. We'll try to clean it up a little bit and do some enhancement. I know Fred's got stuff on his computer. I got a few things on mine I can play around with. Because this is something we used to do a lot of. We used to. I know Fred did it. I've done it a little bit. We'll actually analyze and study photos, try to get clarity, get some clarity out of them. Um, hold on one second. Someone sent the photo here. Hold on. Oh, okay. Fred Lale Pate shared those photos to me. The ones you were trying to share.
Yeah. That's an albino.
All right, hold on. Tell you what, give me a
Here.
second. I'll screen share that real quick.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do, but I can't. I don't know how to do it.
All right, I got to go back to Facebook real quick. All right.
I'll send her the other picture too, and she'll send it to you.
All right.
I'm gonna send her the other one too. Okay. All right. Here's the other one too.
Okay, I'm starting to screen share.
Ah, here we go.
All right. All right, here it is, Fred. This is your photo right here. So.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. Now she's gonna send you another one.
Albino.
He's facing to the from right to left. You can see the white, his arm out, and you can see his face, the broadside face.
All right. Let's see. All right, hold on. Let me go back to and see the other photo there. All right, hold on. Let me stop this one.
This one was off a video that I made.
All right. Oh crap! What am I doing? All right, and here's the next one. Hold on. Let me go up to screen share.
Well, there we go.
Oh, man, it disappeared. Now, hold on. Let me get back out of here.
Jeez, that was a good image.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna try to.
There you go.
Oh crap! I'm trying to present it to everyone so it enlarges on the screen. Now. All right, here we go. All right, now is this of the same? All right, okay,
Yeah,
this is the
yeah.
same one. Not.
Yeah, the Whitey was here at 4:08, and at 4:12 he's gone. Look at that bend of that tree. He was right underneath that bend between those two trees. He ain't there now. And put them side by side if you can.
Damn it.
Well, I can't do that. If I could, I can't do it while
I'll
on
tell
the
you
screen
what,
share.
I'll tell you where this was at, Daniel. When you walk it, when you hit that back trail behind the apple orchard, going toward Mill Creek.
Right.
Go down that trail about 500 yards and go about 100 yards to your left.
Right.
Back over in there.
Hmm.
Because where he was at was about 40 yards from the dirt road. It goes up into Mill Creek.
Right.
That's where that video was taken at in them pictures.
Uh-huh. All right, hold on one second. Hold on. All right. I'll tell you what. Let's do more of this tomorrow night. Are you guys willing to do a little bit of this tomorrow? Like share some pictures and talk and discuss them.
Yeah, sure.
All right. I'm thinking probably more around, let's say 9 o'clock.
I'll be in bed.
Okay. All right. So we'll have a quiet podcast. So that just joking. I'm picking on you, Cheryl.
Oh, you always do.
You know
Payback's
it.
gonna be a bitch.
Cheryl, you know what they say. If I didn't like you, I wouldn't pick on you.
Oh, you gotta like me.
I got to.
You got to. I'm
Hey,
Glenn's
Daniel.
wife.
Hey Daniel, I got a nickname for her now.
Uh-oh. What?
Oh, jeez.
The
Don't
nanny.
get jealous.
The nanny.
The nanny.
Nanny. The nanny.
Oh, could we call her Fran? The Fran?
I don't even talk like that.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. I would have to literally hold my nose and talk.
What's the biggest cast one of you guys? What's the biggest cast one of you guys have ever got?
The one I have, is one of my most recent ones. It's a 16-inch track. So, and there's more in that area. I've seen right where I cast that track. There was another one right next to it, and it was actually facing the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And that was pretty interesting. I have a couple of my videos from that.
So you're gonna teach us how to cast?
You know what? Do you know how to make pancake batter?
Yeah.
No, but my husband does.
Well, there you go. That's a big step right there. If you know how to make the consistency of pancake batter.
Yeah.
Depending. Some people like their pancake batter real thick. I don't. I don't like them big and thick and fluffy. I like them, thin and crispy on the edges when it cooks. But so I make my pancake batter not really watery, but yet it's loose. If that makes any sense. The consistency of loose pancake batter, where if you pour it, it pours out nice and smooth.
Right. A good track.
Really? You use pancake batter?
No, I'm
No,
using
no,
that as
you
an
go to,
example.
yeah.
No.
A good track, if you mix
I'll
the
tell you, wow.
if you mix the consistency right in plaster Paris, that's what you use. And if
Blaster.
you get a good consistency and you put it in that track, let it sit for about 30 minutes, say 30 minutes, and just take a screwdriver and just poke on each side of it down in the ground, and then pick the track up real slow, let it dry for 24 hours, then wash it off underneath the faucet, and then you got a perfect footprint. If you now if the track is good, you can pick up dermal ridges off the bottom of its foot.
Huh.
Yep.
Don't them dermal ridges run the length of the foot?
Yeah, there are
Yeah.
people. Cliff Rockman's got a plaster cast that's got dermal ridges in it.
Hmm.
Let's see.
Tell you,
You know, just
Dr. Jeff Meldrum does too. Like,
oh
if you guys
yeah, he's got a lot of
recall,
them.
yeah, if you recall on when I was discussing on one of the other podcasts, I was bringing up a gentleman by the name of Jimmy Chilcutt. He's the former forensic analysis for retired FBI forensic officer. Now, with a lot of his studies that he's done right there with Jeff Meldrum, I mean, they both found dermal ridges. And then
Yep.
he actually, one of his latest ones was a large, very large primate hand that was found here in North America, which was, it was very, he said it was very similar and it had a lot of similar uh, characteristics of a large gorilla. And so these, and the dermal ridges on this was very, very, I mean, detailed. You can make them out very clear.
Yeah.
So, but that's just one of many things. I mean, between Jimmy Chilcutt and Jeff Meldrum, they worked alongside each other. They both actually staked their reputations on, a large, hominid, or as Jimmy Chilcutt states it, his statement is he's convinced that there is a large um,
Primate.
primate here in America, and he stakes his reputation on that. This is a man of you know, high reputation here. So I mean, yeah. But hold on, let me take care of something here. Uh, well, all right. I know we still got viewers going on here. I'm gonna make a link and make another updated post. Um, about tomorrow night, we're gonna do photo analysis. We're going to share our opinions and thoughts, and if we could try to debunk it, that's going to be awesome. If we could try to debunk something, that'd be great. But meanwhile, if you guys want to gather some photos together, if you guys come across something, because some of the photos you guys might share is something that me and Fred might already be familiar with, but that's all right. It'll still make for a great discussion. And we'll see what we can do with them. I mean, we're not professionals, we're not experts, but we'd like to give honest opinions. So,
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Leo just texted me and says, she said it might be wrong, but I think their dermal ridges go the opposite way from ours.
yeah, no, she's absolutely right. They do. They're,
I didn't even know that.
yeah, in primates, theirs go the opposite way from ours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they're absolutely correct, correct on that statement. But there is a distinguished difference between humans and non-humans. There is a complete different, um, you know, position. So yeah, that's pretty cool. We got a good little statement to end the show. Guys, I want to hang on here. I'm going to end the broadcast. I want to thank all the viewers. We had a good number of viewers tonight. Tune in tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Just watch for my link. I'll have it on my main timeline page. I'll share it in a few groups, and feel free to share it yourselves. But when you guys share the links for me, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. It helps bring in more viewers, and but try to include the details, like edit and add a caption at the top like I do when I post it. Like, make sure you set the date and time. That way, if somebody wants to view it, they'll know the time to pay attention to it. Like for us tonight, we started at 8 o'clock, but it's Eastern Standard Time. A lot of viewers they're out in Central Time, whatever, mid whatever the different time zones are. So they're like some people 2 or 3 hours behind us. So, but yeah, make sure it really helps other people start watching us because some people don't start till late because they didn't know the actual time it started. A lot of times, if they see just 8 p.m., they're going to think it's 8 p.m. their time, which we might be over by the time they start. So yeah, definitely. If you guys want to share the link, just make sure you share the time and date that I originally have posted. But tomorrow we're going to shoot for 9 o'clock tomorrow night, and we'll try to run for at least an hour if we're careful. But we're going to try to discuss some photos. If you guys have any other ideas or anything else that comes up, we'll discuss that as well. So if you guys want to, maybe have some homework tonight, I'll give you guys some homework. Cheryl, if you don't feel like doing it, have Hannah do it.
She's got a whole week.
Oh, okay.
She's off for a whole week.
Oh, wow. Why? What's going on up there?
President's Week or whatever.
Oh, shoot. Kids down here, they only have a day off, but they actually
Really?
postponed. They switched President's Day off with some day in March, so they switched it up.
Well, this is winter's vacation, pretty much, and then they'll have another one in April.
Oh, okay. Spring break, yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, very cool. Well, viewers, again, I want to thank you guys for jumping in, tuning in, and questions and comments were great tonight. We always welcome comments, questions. If you, for some reason, can't comment under the live chat where you're viewing, throw out a message to us on Facebook. That way, we'll get it that way too. If you guys can't comment below the view, but thank you again. Watch for the link that I'll be posting for tomorrow night. Again, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. God bless and see you later. All right.
Ciao.